Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Bobby Trippett.
And I'm Michael Tanner.
And today we're talking about 1987's La Venganza de los Punks.
Viva la muerte! Viva la coca! Viva la mota! Viva Knievel?
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Where did set it, knocker? I don't know.
Spooky got no real rhythm.
We're
gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love funny games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
It's for jacking off. Come on, just step on the gas before we get cream.
So Tanner, you're back on the show.
I'm back.
It seems like it's been a while.
Has it really been that long?
I don't know.
We just recorded one a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago?
It's true.
I don't know when these go
Time
up.
is,
Time has no meaning.
Time is a flat circle.
It really is. So you're back with us to talk about, for Summer Sequel Month, the sequel to Intrepidos Punks.
Like we were warned at the end of the first movie when the guy was like, I fear this may not be over. I fear this may just be one link in a much longer chain.
Yeah.
Turns out that chain was 2 links.
And the Juan squad might come back, the famous duo that we couldn't get enough of, right? Those mustaches.
So, Mike, do you want to give our listeners a previously on Intrepidos Punks?
Well, in part 1, there was a bunch of punks, and they robbed banks as nuns and stuff, and they did all sorts of crazy shit. They went to prison at one point, some of them. They broke a guy out named Tarzan. Then they just had like a bunch of punk shit, kind of went around. The Juan squad were the guys who came down on them hard, right?
On an episode of Juan to Juan?
Our boys, the Juan squad. You can hear all this, by the way, in our Intrepidos Punks episode. But they ended up foiling the punks at the end of the movie.
Yeah, they had the old man squad with the rifles were taking everybody out. And,
yeah.
The remaining punks got hauled off to prison. And our main guy, Juan Valentine, and his partner, also Juan.
One-on-one.
Yeah, they saved the day.
Yeah, they did. And but there was a warning, as Bobby said, at the end of the movie.
Where they're sitting around having a celebratory lunch.
Yeah, at some guy's house.
He says he's afraid this might not be over.
Oh, no.
It was so ominous.
Yeah. And so...
Well, so 7 years later.
Yeah.
7 years between this movie and the last movie.
My God. So this is mid-'80s, right?
1987.
87.
Yeah.
For those who haven't watched it, imagine a movie filmed in 1987 that somehow manages to look like a movie filmed in 1977.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, man... We are laxing our standards as far as what we're allowed to show in Mexican cinema because, holy God, this movie...
It goes further.
Okay, so...
We upped the ante in ways that we couldn't do budgetarily.
Well, or necessarily maybe even show publicly, because the first Intrepidos Punks was very coy on how they'd get around a lot of those rape scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of
like
rape
that.
in the first Intrepidos Punks. As I mentioned in that episode that we did for that one, it was handled in a way that was maybe a little less offensive, despite conceptually being offensive. It was just a lot of, like, laying down on people but not doing anything.
Yeah.
You could call it PG-13 rape.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
horrible.
a weird thing to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
They
throw that shit
pulled
out.
punches. They definitely pulled their punches in the
Not
first
here.
one.
But we
Nope.
Throw
because
that shit out the window, huh?
like 7 years later, we have a new director who's like, I want to make a sequel to that cool-ass punk movie I saw back in 1980. I can get about half of these people back. Let's see where this story goes. But he has a very different vision of what this universe should be.
And one of my characters is going to be topless the whole movie. The whole movie.
Oh yeah, we should mention with the recap is Tarzan, the punk leader. He has his partner,
Hedwig.
played by Princess Leia.
Princessa
Leia.
Who we called Hedwig in the movie.
Hedwig, yep.
Yeah.
She unfortunately goes down.
Yeah, she gets shot in the head in the first one.
She does. So he has a new Hedwig in this movie. I call her new Hedwig.
Okay, her name's Panther.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize that was Panther because they referred to that character multiple times earlier in the movie. I didn't know that was her until over halfway
until
through.
someone directly calls her
Yes.
She'll always be
Yeah.
new Hedwig to me.
that. Of course. And she's in the first movie. She's one of the punks. She's hanging out. She was one of the nuns. And she's gotten a promotion now for
Yeah.
part 2.
So new Hedwig is here. She's dressing like the old Hedwig. In
Same
terms of she
outfit,
has the
same everything.
Yeah, same outfit,
She
same
has
hair, makeup.
massive black hair sticking out in every direction. She dresses like a drag queen.
Yeah. But she has large breasts that are on display for the whole movie.
She's nude almost the entire time.
For God's sakes, there's multiple times when she grabs a shirt and doesn't button it. She could, but she chooses not to.
But hey, you know what? We're getting masses in the seats.
No. Yep.
Now, do you want to start with our new director?
Yes. So the director of this movie, you only want me to start with it, so I have to say the name. Damien Acosta Esparza.
Nailed it.
So close. So close.
You're getting better at this, Mike.
Lots of Mexican movies you've never heard of, but
Unless you are from Mexico.
yes,
Yeah, to our Mexican listeners.
yeah.
Lots of movies you've heard of.
Yeah. However, I did write one down, which is, woo boy, we got to see where he's coming from. 1 year after this one, it's called The Infernal Rapist.
Oh my God, this movie.
I feel like that sounds like an anime.
Okay, here's the description, and then it sounds like Bobby's seen it.
I haven't seen it. But
Okay. Here's the description of it. I hope you haven't seen it. I hope nobody's seen it.
I hope I haven't seen it too.
Carlos El Gato is a serial rapist.
That means Carlos the cat.
It's Charlie the cat.
Yeah, Charlie the cat rapist.
The cat rapist.
He comes around on all fours, man. It's really weird. So he's condemned to the electric chair. But this is how it's written. Before to die, he and Satan in a woman form makes a deal.
Makes sense so far.
Carlos returns from beyond and begins to rape women and a gay guy, then he kills them. That's the description of the movie.
Now,
The
Mike is
Infernal
reading this
Rapist.
off the back of the DVD
Yeah. This is what somebody wrote on IMDb
as the plot synopsis.
of the synopsis of The Infernal Rapist.
Yeah, he comes back, he rapes some women, and there's a gay guy at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah, he rapes a gay
did
guy.
that guy too, and then everybody dies.
So he's not choosy. That's fine. That's, he's open to everything. That's
So this
nice.
director has a signature.
Yeah. Raping.
Rape and murder.
Also, he saw a movie a couple years ago, that they made a couple out of that he really enjoyed. Stars
Yeah.
one of our Grindbin All-Star
Another
Hall of
mustachioed
Famer.
cop.
Yeah. Stars a Grindbin Hall of Famer, as we're going to get into this.
Yeah.
But he really liked that series of movies. You think so, Tanner?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So, Bobby, you have some stuff on the cast, because I looked at the cast. I'm like, well, a lot of people are returning, and also nobody has names on IMDb, so I don't
it's
know
a
who
hard
the
thing.
fuck this
It's a
is.
source of great frustration for me with these Intrepidos Punks films that the cast in the ending, when the credits roll, nothing's labeled. Here's the people in this movie. We're not going to tell you who's playing who and what now. So if it's been decades and you're going back and watching them now, you don't know who played what.
Oh, and we should say, before you get in the cast, if you want to watch this movie, go on archive.org for Intrepidos Punks, and the third version of the movie is actually the sequel to this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have 2 bad cuts of the first film and then 1 complete one of the second.
It's the last version on archive.org. Click on it, you will get to see the sequel.
It's a pretty quality copy of it.
Yeah, I watched it on my TV, and it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
You're
Pretty
kind of
good.
ashamed that you put that on the TV, but
I kept waiting for my wife to walk in during every
Another
scene
one of
with
those
Panther.
moments where you're like, oh, God, I'm going to have to explain myself.
Again?
I'm getting ready. She's like, why do you watch these movies?
So, cast-wise, we got a few returners. We got Juan Valentin back again.
Juan, baby.
Yeah. Oh, we only got one of the Juan squad.
I know.
Juan Guillardo, I guess, said no?
I mean, the other guy is playing Juan too. Like, isn't he?
No.
Isn't he?
Oh, I thought it was his old partner.
No, that's Jorge. They call him by name.
It is Jorge.
It's Jorge from part 1.
That's the other.
Oh, okay,
that's
'cause
the
he was
other
never
guy
called-
isn't Juan too.
Okay,
It's
'cause
Jorge.
By the way, nobody was ever called Juan in the first
No one ever
movie.
actually was named
Yeah,
Juan.
no. We just called
Because
them
the
the
2
Juan
lead
squad.
actors were named Juan.
Yeah.
We called them the Juan squad. This is Marco. Is
Oh,
the main
man.
guy.
Well, this is
The main
embarrassing
guy's
because I
Marco.
just called him Juan too the whole movie.
No, dude, that's Jorge. And no, you didn't.
Okay, so there's no explanation as to what happened.
The second Juan is not in this film.
Yeah, that's very confusing.
So,
to me.
It
yeah.
is very confusing. But as soon as you said that, I was yes, his name is Jorge.
So-
yes, there was Jorge in the first
But
one.
I just
Yep.
assumed like, oh well, the guy in the First one was named Jorge, but his character,
You're thrown
his
by
actor
the
was Juan.
mustaches and hair once
Too
again.
many mustaches.
Too many mustaches.
many.
Too
Everyone
many
looks
hair.
like Charles Bronson in this movie.
They really do.
So yeah, our main guy Juan Valentine, he's back as Marco, and or Juan number one.
He'll always be Juan to
He's
me.
Juan. We're just gonna call him Juan.
Yeah.
Olga Rios is back. She's Panther, as we mentioned already.
New Hedwig.
The new Hedwig. El Fantasma has returned as Tarzan, the leader of the Intrepidos
And I'm
Punks.
so
boy-
excited that he has multiple
Right?
costume changes in this
Right?
movie.
This guy goes wild with
Got
the
some
costumes
fucking
in this one.
masks on this
it's
one.
great.
I bet you they were going for like the action figure market, like different variations.
The
on
Intrepidos
the-
Punks toy
Yeah.
line.
The version with the traffic going on his head and all that.
Oh, I called it a psychedelic Klansman.
That's pretty great.
Oh,
Like I said, we got Jorge back, and then one new person I want to mention, Anais de Mello. Pardon me if I'm saying the first name wrong.
I'm sure it's
Mike,
great.
you want to give me
Nailed
a name?
it.
Thank you. She's significant. She plays somebody in this movie. I think it might be Jorge's partner. I'm not entirely certain. But
Oh, you mean the lady that's in it for 2 scenes? Great.
does nothing, and
Yeah.
then just isn't
She got
around.
one wardrobe change, guys.
Yeah.
One change.
So I think that's who she is. I'm going to go with that.
I think so.
But I bring her up because,
Stop.
we have a Grindbin All-Star added to the cast.
What?
Heyo.
Because a few years earlier, she was in a Charles Bronson movie.
What?
She appears as Dominique in The Evil That Men Do.
Ooh.
Wow.
Charles Bronson went to Mexico and ran into one of the Intrepidos Punks.
Holy shit.
I don't remember who Dominique was. Is she one of the 2 women that are on the bed when Charles Bronson is under the bed?
She might be one of them or the lady in the beginning that he
She's certainly
goes
not
to.
top billed in that movie. So
Remember, like, the nurse, that lady... not the lady he goes on vacation with.
the
becomes their new
assistant
family.
to Moloch?
Yeah, no, the nurse in the very beginning who's explaining to him about how this guy is all been fucked up and everything.
It could be.
I think it was her.
But it's enough to have a name, at least.
Yeah.
She plays a character named Dominique. She's much like she's somewhere in this
Dominique.
movie. She's somewhere in The Evil That Men
That
Do.
sounds like a name, though, that Bronson would refuse to say on set. So I don't think she had a big role.
So
I
she might
can't
be the other
imagine-
girl on that bed when Bronson's hiding under.
Yeah, could you imagine him saying something with that many syllables? Like, no.
I'll just call her Nikki.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
Name's Dominique. Nikki.
it's
Fine.
Nikki. I think that might be about it for what I have cast-wise. There's not a lot
Yeah,
that we
there's a lot
didn't
of
already talk
returning-
about in the previous
Yeah.
episode. Anything else about the production we want to talk about before we get into the plot?
Well, I have to say the quality is great in terms of the transfer.
Yeah.
The movie, we'll get to that. But
Costuming is better.
everything's better. Like,
Say about better, but it's certainly going for it.
I think there are some punk designs that I prefer in the first one, but I like the variety in this one.
So
it's very comic booky, more so than even part 1.
the thing about this one is that it definitely had more money behind it because the production values are a little bit better. Punk HQ is upgraded to some sort of, like, I don't know, like
Old
ruins.
mission.
Yeah, some sort of
It
mission.
looked like they'd taken over a mission.
Yeah, they have much more of a budget for special effects in this movie. It's we'll get into it, but
Less locations, though.
less
Except-
locations.
yeah.
But however, man, way worse music.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, another several people that weren't back for this one was Three Souls in my mind.
Oh, no, on the credits, they're listed as providing the music.
What?
Yeah.
I
Which
didn't
is
see that.
Yeah.
disappointing.
Well, they phoned it in this time, man.
Oh yeah, there's
'Cause
no lyrics or any
We even
shit.
kind of get a. Oh, wait a minute. You know what it is? If you recall when we talked about this in the first episode,
They had
the band
split.
broke up.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Three Souls in my mind by name was just one of the guys from the band.
Oh, so he's just like a sad guy playing bass.
So it was yeah. Holy shit.
well, and
it was
isn't
just
that
like
guy-
the bass player for Three Souls had to do the music all himself.
Isn't that the guy who plays Ojal? What's the punk?
Oh,
Did he
well,
play him?
I thought that
it might be.
guy was one of the guys in Three Souls.
Oh, I thought that guy was a punk from the first one that they showed.
He is a
lot.
punk from the first one.
Yeah,
But I don't think he's one of the Three Souls.
He's
punks.
not.
No,
He's not one of the band guys in the band in the first.
I don't
one?
believe so.
All right.
I
But-
would have sworn he played in the band too, but I don't know if that's the real band that was in the rape scene in the first one.
That might not have actually been Three Souls, except
Yeah.
for the drummer.
Yeah.
But at any rate, Yeah, that makes a lot of sense though. That the with the split off happened, and the one guy who the fans were like, about, is the guy doing the music this time.
Yeah.
When the real creative forces behind Three Souls in My Mind had moved on to become El Tree by now, and gone on to win all their awards and be legends.
It's kind of like how Death Wish 2 had Jimmy Page just do the soundtrack by himself. So you just get a lot of like wow guitar stuff, but that's it, you know,
because it's all he's got. That makes so much more sense now, though. Like, I mean, I guess we're getting Misfits, but this time it's just Jerry only.
These have, yeah,
like it's not the same, man. It's
man,
that's really what this feels like.
Yeah. I just like the idea of like, there's so many things in common between this and Death Wish. Like,
oh yeah, this is so
even down to the soundtrack. Of like, they could only get one guy from a really famous band to just do the music, and that was
really
it.
explains how this movie probably came about. Though, was the Death Wish movies were popular. This director loved them and wanted to do one, and went, I can probably make this work if I bring back this popular movie from years ago. Remember that Punks movie? I got an idea for the sequel.
What? By the way, this is after Death Wish 2. And who attacks his daughter in Death Wish 2? A bunch of punks.
It totally lines up. So this is a take on Death Wish 2, utilizing the Intrepidos Punks universe.
It really is. And we can just go ahead and get out of the way. We will be calling him Juan Bronson. At least I will.
No,
for the rest of this
I had that in my
movie.
notes as well. He's Juan Bronson. Because this is a Charles Bronson movie.
Okay. We're going to get into it, guys. Like, the first 20 minutes of this movie, I was like, I don't know. But then when it started going Juan Bronson, I'm like, okay, I see where we're going.
And this is why I messaged you guys and went, I'm really interested in hearing what you guys think of this because, and I didn't want to reveal anything, but I'm like, this turns into a different kind of Grindbin movie that we're used to.
Yeah. But you say a different kind of movie, it's just like, hey, you know what? Let's make Death Wish in Mexico, huh?
Mexican Death Wish. Speaking of the evil that men do. So should we get into it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's
but
get
we
on our
start
bikes.
out the way we usually should start out a Punks movie, with a fucking prison break, right?
Yeah. So we start out with Panther as the new Hedwig.
Yeah.
And some other girl. Maybe that's a nice whatever her name was.
Medusa?
Medusa. That's the one.
Medusa,
yes.
yeah.
So Panther and Medusa are standing next to a brick wall, and she goes, now.
And it explodes. This wall explodes. There's a guard there, I think, too. He's taken out by the rubble.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, Intrepidos Punks! And they're all breaking
Except
out.
we don't have the lyrics.
No, we just got the bass player.
We just
sad
have
bass player.
Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. All right, that's kind of the Intrepidos Punks music. And so as this movie's getting going, we're starting to run the opening credits now. We see a punk named Bone, who we'll see a lot of, is painting a swastika on his girlfriend's butt.
Did you write down the dialogue here?
I did.
Oh. Do you want to do a dramatic reading of it?
Oh, please.
Do you want to be Bone or the girl?
I just have Bone. Oh, did we start with me?
No, I'll be the
She
girl.
said something to him
She
before,
says-
he says.
She essentially says, hurry up.
Yeah. And he says, am I going to eat Hitler?
He says, why not? We have a
What a
eating
dramatic
joke
reading.
right off the...
These punks are
off
out there eating ass.
Yeah, eating Hitler ass.
Eating Nazi ass.
And it looks like he's tattooing her with a Sharpie. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
clean.
It's not
I
a
just wrote
tattoo.
painting.
He's just-
drawing.
yeah.
He's drawing swastikas
It's like
on his girlfriend's
Yeah,
ass.
something you'd get at the fair.
So,
You go up to a face painter and be like, I know you're going to have qualms with both of my requests. One, swastika.
This
Two,
is,
my butt.
this is a hard sell twofold.
But I will tip $5.
It's going to be worth it for the joke I'm going to make afterwards.
Well, I do have to
Am I
say,
going to eat Hitler?
well, I do have to say now, their punk parties have been upgraded a little bit. Okay, so like they're a little bit more orgy now,
Yeah.
right, than they
Well,
were
'cause,
before.
We set it up immediately. And they, hey, what do you think of our new hideout, boys?
Yeah,
And everyone goes, woo! And starts fucking. And I think we might have actually seen sex this time.
oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
like biker movie fucking. Like it's
Like,
really
we're really
ooh.
going for it.
Man.
Like, I think we watched people have sex in this opening.
Yeah, it's graphic, and I was like, oh, this is a
I've never
different type
felt
of movie.
more 35 than I did about this. I'm like, I don't know about that. This is a little. We don't have to go that far.
What
do
do
we?
their parents think?
Too punk. I don't know about
Yeah,
this.
this is a little beyond the pale. I don't. We talk about eating ass, and now we're Hold on. What kind of movie
Now I'm
is
seeing
it?
a guy eat ass. So I don't know, man. So yeah, they're painting each other. They're doing coke. They're having orgies on bikes and stuff.
It's sort of a greatest hits from the first one. It's all the stuff we loved about the way
Yeah.
the punks party.
And they just roll. They just go, all right, now go fuck each other.
Yeah, go
For real or
have
whatever.
fun. We got a tinfoil Coolio.
It's amazing.
That guy's great.
Yeah.
He's good.
We will call him that for
Yeah.
the rest of it.
Yeah.
Tinfoil Coolio. And we also meet the new guy. I forget his name. He's wearing the furry football pads.
That's Madman.
Madman. That
Mad
one's
Max.
Madman.
Okay,
Mad
Mad
Max.
Man.
We got Mad Max.
Yeah.
Bone is dressed like a centurion.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's
Bone.
Bone?
Yeah, that's Bone.
That's
Yeah, Bone wears
technically,
the-
I believe it's an Inca warrior.
Oh, pardon me.
helmet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Come on, Bobby.
Yeah, the cape and the crested helmet.
Tanner has stepped up his knowledge of Mexican culture.
I
He's
know
really into
all
it now.
sorts of things now.
God, ever since the Intrepidos
Might be
Punks
Aztec.
episode, he's become
But I
very
think it's
into it.
Incan. Yeah.
Well, Aztec, yes.
But yeah, everyone's in some variation of Rey Mysterio's entrance gear.
bunch of Rey Mysterios running around.
That sounds like
All
a
alliterations.
Man, that sounds like a super racist thing to say.
Yep.
Hey, we got a bunch of Rey Mysterios running around.
All iterations of his characters.
Yeah.
Like, he just watched one movie and he's like, I got it.
Turns out Rey Mysterio, big fan of
Yeah.
Intrepidos Punks
Got a big
and its
30.
sequel.
I got 3 decades worth of material I could get out of this.
They
It's all
really do.
good.
So that's how we spend our opening credits, is just watching these punks fuck each other in their Halloween costumes.
Yeah, literally fuck each other. Like you're saying, there's parts where they get down on the ground. You're like, he's
Like,
he
I'm
is
about to
going
see Dick.
town. Yeah,
I don't
that's-
Hey, you know what, though? Have fun.
Yeah.
You kids have fun
Punk it
there.
out, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're having the old orgy and everything, and immediately we cut to a birthday party for
It's
a
a
lady.
real, real shock to the system.
Yeah, and Juan's here.
Yeah, it's Juan's daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
Quinceañera.
And yeah, we're blowing out. It's not our quinceañera, is it?
no.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
You
that's
don't-
why
you-
she's in the dress.
I thought that when we saw it, but then it's confirmed
No.
in
It
the
is, yeah.
later scene.
Well, she wasn't going to be turned 22, Mike.
Well, now
I knew
kn-
I knew she was around that age, but I didn't put together it was technically her quinceañera.
We don't find out
Now-
until that scene at the end. When they
Until
Wow.
the
her
scene.
15th birthday.
Now I know why he goes Juan Bronson.
Yeah.
Because that is
Of
too
course.
much.
But we'll get to that because right now,
My
Because
God.
if it had been her 14th birthday.
you're
Yeah,
all right.
No.
No, it's fine.
No,
but come on,
would've been
on the
okay.
quinceañera?
That's
what
a
are we
special
doing?
one.
That's the big one.
So anyway, yeah, we're having a good time. The whole family's here.
Yeah.
All the friends and family are there. Everybody's happy. What could go wrong?
Okay, I also gotta say though, Mexican birthday songs are way better.
Yeah, those are some fun
Like
songs.
these were catchy, you know. I'm like singing along, like okay,
Man, imagine if Three Souls was back.
exactly.
Can you do a birthday song? Got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quinceañera punks. She's turning 15.
But they had multiple songs, you know, and I was like, okay, this is way better than what we got with
Like-
those 2 old ladies that hold the rights to that one song, you know.
Yeah, it was either that or we are gonna do some Masker Mafia style, singing songs, passing around the bread.
Yeah, Duke Mitchell's there, you know.
I expected him there. There were so many people turning up for this quinceañera. Duke Mitchell with a big dark mustache on.
He was coming out of the cake.
And,
This, by the way, big ass cake. This is bigger than a goddamn wedding cake. This thing. It takes up like the whole fucking table.
I thought that's how we were going to see Tarzan for the first time. He was going to pop up out of that.
But Juan does it right, dude. You know, he's
It's
like
his baby
his
girl's
daughter
15th.
is turning 15.
She only gets to do it once, man.
Yeah.
And Jorge's back from part 1, and he's got his new partner.
Yeah.
And they come over and they're like, "Hey, this is a great party. We're having a wonderful time." He's like, "Hey, grab a drink. We're having a." He's like, "We need to show you something."
Yeah, glad you guys could make it to the party.
And they have a newspaper article with them,
Yeah.
and it's showing
Could just told him.
right, and it's showing that there's been a prison break. The punks are out. They're
Yeah.
out free, and they're going to be at it again. And he goes, "Oh, these bastards! After all we did to catch them, well, I guess I'm going to have to catch them again."
Intrepido. No.
And he offers them to stay, and they're like, no, we got other police stuff to go do. You enjoy this. Hey, save us a slice of cake for tomorrow, pal.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely going to be
Nothing.
one.
Look, nothing's gonna be wrong here. Everything is fine. We're just letting you know the
enjoy
punks
this
are out.
wonderful, loving time with your beautiful family.
Yeah. All right, bye. We're leaving the house. We're leaving, and at the same time, somebody comes in the door.
And who is
It's
it?
literally like within the same moment.
Like they said hi on the way out.
Yeah, so, like-
they had to have like nodded to each other, like, "Hey, what's up?"
so Jorge and his
Like
other
That guy
Looney-
look like Tarzan.
the Looney Tunes cartoon with the dog or dog
they
and the
clock
wolf.
out?
They clock out.
How you doing, Jeff?
You know, and Jorge and his other partner, they know the punks.
They know
Well, at
what's
least
up.
Jorge does. They don't see their cars outside. We know how they get around.
The fucking purple motorcycle with the Yes logo
He's like,
on
oh,
it.
that must be the other mattress on the back of a motorcycle.
Yeah, the fucking big wheel with the
Yeah.
skull on the front.
I don't see anything weird about this.
No, I think they saw that and quietly got the fuck out of there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, shit. So the
Or they
punks,
wanted no part of that again.
the punks are here, and
They come running in, and
Yeah.
you know everyone's there. They got machine guns. Tarzan's there.
And this is where I'm like, okay, we're still in the realm of the first one. We're having a good
right. This is
time.
what
It
they want to
feels.
do.
It still feels like the first one.
Things are going to be a
Tanner,
little
where do you
rough, but
think
we're
it
gonna be
starts to
good.
turn?
I think it turns when Tarzan says, "Madman, Viking, Panther, you know what to do."
Yeah.
And they haul the Juan's wife and daughter into a bedroom, and the raping begins.
Yeah.
And it
it's
is.
it's not the kissy rape
No,
from the first
they
one.
are
No.
savaging
It's
everyone.
Death Wish 2 rape scene.
And so, yeah, the punks rape everyone at this party.
Yeah, and
Most
literally
centered
everyone,
on the wife and daughter, but everyone is getting raped.
men, women,
Yeah,
everybody
all of
is
them.
getting raped.
And then
And this is when I write in my notes. I go, these are new punks.
there's a lot of new ones.
This is not
They've
what
got
I
a
signed
different
up
philosophy than what I remember
Yeah, I'm
from
like,
the first movie.
oh.
We were ready for the Jets and the Sharks.
Yeah.
But now we got the Crips and the Bloods.
for. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, man, things
Like
have
Tanner
changed.
Tanner had his drumsticks in the air. He was ready for 1, 2,
1, 2,
3.
3.
And he's like, oh no, this
Yeah.
is not.
I did. This is when I knew I was like,
The band's not here, man.
Man, 1987 was a rough year. Apparently,
You could see the difference between 80 and 87 right there. Like, oh, it's a different way of going about it.
the fun is gone, man.
Yeah, it's shocking. And obviously they got Juan at gunpoint. They're making him watch all this happen while they savage his wife and daughter. And we do close-ups on his eyes because he's right. And
That's what we're all doing. We're all like, please.
and he tells these punks, he goes, "You're all gonna regret this." And they go, "Oh," and then they start shooting
The whole party.
everyone. And unlike in the first one, we got squibs, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
This is
so-
like that Tom Jane Punisher.
It felt so much
You
like the
know?
beginning of the Tom Jane Punisher movie.
when Roy Schneider even gets it.
Yeah,
Like right in the
when,
beginning.
like, his entire family is raped and murdered in front of him. Every
when
person.
you're like, oh, Roy Schneider's in this. Oh my God, he's dead.
He's getting raped by a punk.
I do have to say, I did have a little bit of a laugh. Okay, so
You monster.
I know they gun down the wife and the daughter. Then it cuts to the other
Very
rape,
hilarious.
the
by
other
the way.
rape room where they gun down all of those guys.
All very
But then
funny.
it cuts back to the table with all the food. And then there's still party guests who are standing kind of in the buffet line who they didn't move.
Holding plates.
Yeah, holding plates. And then they get gunned down.
Well,
I was like, what is
You know what though?
Well-
They did say anyone who moves dies.
Yeah. Also,
But I like the thought of someone just being like, "Look, I'm really hungry.
You know,
I'm just
I'm
gonna."
just going to grab this pickle.
punk
They
like a
won't miss
bear,
pickle.
just don't move.
Yeah.
Maybe not see you.
And so we're zoomed in on Juan on the ground here. He's been beaten. He's been punched in the ribs and kicked and whatnot. And he says, "You better kill me now, or you're all gonna pay with your lives."
Yeah.
And they're about
don't.
to, but Tarzan goes, No. You leave him alone. You let him live to remember that this happened.
Yeah.
That's worse than killing him.
Because that
Which it would
seems
be.
like a good thing to do for the plot of this movie.
Yep.
And so they decide to leave.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, we did our thing. We did what we came for. Let's get out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4."
Okay, gotta
Immediate
say,
jump cut.
was anybody else really disappointed that the cake was not used for anything? Like
Oh,
there
that
wasn't
one of the
any
punks should have
part.
just taken, like, a fistful
Come
of
on,
cake.
there's not a point where anybody
Shot up the
falls
cake
in
with a
it.
machine gun?
Yes, nothing with the
Just cake flying everywhere. Like goes, one punk should have just focused on just like machine gunning the cake.
Yeah, I mean, there's all this rape and shooting going
I
on.
needed
and I'm
some
like,
levity.
I keep screaming, "What about the cake?"
That sounds about right.
I would have liked them riding down the street on one of the motorcycle trikes, and one of them has the cake.
He
and
took
he's-
the cake on the
yeah,
way
and he's
out?
just throwing cake to people as they drive by them.
I needed something silly to kind of
to wash
to
that
wash
palate
this
cleanser.
because this was I know how rape and revenge movies work. This is supposed to hurt your soul
Yeah, because this is
to
like
justify everything that's gonna follow.
this is like when you watch Death Wish 3 first, and you're like, "Oh, these are fun," and then you go back and watch 2, and you're like, "Oh, Lord!"
Yeah.
Or no, you go back to 1, and you're like, "Oh,
It's like you
oh,
watch
Jeff Goldblum,
you
that
watch Death
funny
Wish-
guy is in
You
this
watch
movie.
Death Wish 3 and you're like, "Oh, I like these revenge movies," and they go, "Here's I spit on your grave."
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh no,
Oh,
that's not."
that's this whole movie.
Here's Ms. 45.
You're watching this going like, oh.
And it's a bunch of like, you think like a set piece gets put together. You're like, this could be interesting, and then it happens. You go,
Yeah.
that didn't feel good at all.
Look at that cake. Oh,
And so the cops arrive much later. They go, hey, take Marco to the hospital, get him checked out. And the captain, who looks like Dr. Loomis from Halloween.
Oh, I did Mexican Bob Hoskins.
That works too. Because he looks like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Bob Hoskins. We go in. This is a great moment, and I hope you can play a clip of this, Mike, because we do the slow zoom on him. This is his big, like, I'm gonna win a golden goddess for this, And we zoom in on the captain. And he goes, bastards, monsters, scum of the earth. And he's like, oh, the police, the politicians, the doctors, all of the society, we're all responsible. We're all guilty of this.
this is all in Spanish, by the way.
Well, obviously. But, like, he's doing the whole, like, it's our fault, damn it.
Yeah, you did say it's our own fault.
We created
Yeah.
these punks.
I-
We raped ourselves.
I was
I
like,
really wanted it to end with, we are all the Intrepidos Punks.
Yeah. And then he just shaves his head into a mohawk. He's like, yeah, might as well. But yeah,
this is the thing, though. They did find Juan. He's alive, right, at the party.
Yeah, they left
'Cause
him
they
alive.
find him. Yeah, and they
And
bring
they've-
him to the ambulance. The cops
yeah,
do.
they send him off to the hospital.
But like at this point, it's like, Chief, this is not the part to get existential right now, man. Like right now,
He's just surveying the 100 bodies
yeah, like
laying around.
let's not say we're all responsible as Juan is getting dragged out when his whole family was murdered. Let's keep the politics.
We
part.
all bear equal responsibility in this crime.
Yeah. Even you, Juan. Even you.
Juan, you got your family killed, Juan. This speech is like something you'd expect Tansy from the Tough Ones to do.
Yeah. Yeah, in front of somebody that just like
In front
had
of
their
a grieving
significant
person,
other
and everybody's like,
yeah.
it's everyone's fault.
Kind of your fault.
We're all too lenient on crime. We need to start murdering everybody. But so we cut back to the new HQ for the punks, and Tarzan's in a glittery gold number.
Well, I have to say, before we go back to Punk
Yeah, go
HQ, that I write my notes. I go, you think after the punks had broken out of prison multiple times, they put him in, like, the good prison? Like, the one they can't break out
Like
of? Like,
Arkham.
the Ricky O? Yeah.
Yeah,
or-
he needs to the Ricky O.
Yeah,
prison.
yeah, like,
he's
he
done
can't-
some shit, man. This guy
Yeah.
needs to be on guard at all times.
Like, they're always breaking out. They're always bringing some sort of, like, Yogi Bear basket with a bomb and shit. Like, we gotta stop
A cake with a
this.
file in
It's
it.
always that. It's always that. Like put him in the max security one.
Yes.
Not
it's
only
like,
does he do like terrorism level crimes when he's out free, but he has a history of his buddies breaking him out of prison. Prepare for that.
they need him in, like, the Steve Buscemi Con Air type of prison. Like, where they just lock him up in that fucking cage all the time and put a
This-
mask on
I know
him.
it's only 87, but we need some lasers or something.
Yeah.
Like we need something.
We need to invent some lasers or something to keep this guy in.
I don't know, man. We need to put him out on the raft. You know? Like these punks have wheels. They don't swim.
Did they not have a death penalty? They just don't have one in Mexico, or
Yeah, maybe.
so. At this point,
Well, they
did
will
could
in a
they just-
moment.
Could they just not get the chair? Like, could they not get his mask in the chair? Is that the problem? Like, they couldn't get the
They
mask.
couldn't
off?
figure out the logistics of putting the headpiece over his mask. So yeah, he's in all glittery gold. He's in his gold dust outfit.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Rey Mysterio, circa '95 or
Yep.
something.
and he's doing another big speech. He goes, "Brothers!" Now that the band's all back together, and he goes, "Today we'll show the world that we are invincible. That there's no one that can stop us." And that's where he gives his big "Viva la muerte!" And they go, "Viva!" And he goes, "Viva la coca!" And they go, "Viva!" He goes, "Viva la mota! Viva!" And he goes, "Viva alcohol!" I'm like, all right, we don't need to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
He's running out of things.
we're diminishing returns on these things. You
when
should have
you-
done it in a different order.
You got a
Viva
hot
El
crowd.
Tylenol!
He's like,
Well, yeah, all right.
You got a hot crowd. You got to take it as far as it can go, man. Like, that excitement doesn't always
like,
last.
he goes, death, coke, weed, beer.
yeah.
Flip it. You should have worked your way up to death. And he goes, now have some fun, my champions. And boobs
they
all
do.
over, guys.
Yeah,
We're doing
they
another
just-
orgy.
Yeah.
More
Same-
fucking.
It's just more orgy.
Grade A, top shelf punk fucking.
And this, can we isolate that? Hey, Tanner, what do you think? We can just cut away to
Grade
that.
A, top shelf punk fucking.
Speak of the devil, and the devil appears. So we've orgied for about 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. We should, let's pull back the curtain. We stopped for lunch.
To have an orgy.
Yeah, we were having an orgy, eating wings.
And we are fucked out.
We are
and
so slathered in blue cheese and hot sauce.
And we turned on that scene, and guess what? We finished lunch before it was over. So
We finished early.
yeah.
That's a Grindbin guarantee.
You know what? I do have to say, though, at least like they don't go as long as the first Punks movie with the orgy scenes, which go on for like at least 10 minutes. This one was like 5, so
Yeah.
they've learned.
Yeah,
in
I think
7 years.
that was the one part. They're like, less of that, more of everything else.
Yeah.
And so now we move on to Captain Loomis. He's talking to Juan, who is now Juan Bronson. And he's telling him, look, I'm not putting you on this Punks case. You're too close to it. Like, obviously, you're a little emotional right now about what's going on. And you can't... I know you're going to go track them down and you're going to kill them. And we can't have you taking the law into your own hands. And that's when Tansy shows up again.
Because
from
Juan,
the tough ones. He goes, yes, you can.
But because Juan is like, well, what are we going to... Are you going to do anything? He's like, my whole family was fucking murdered.
Yeah, he basically came into the captain's office like, I'm going to kill all of them. And they're like, okay, we're not gonna greenlight that.
The captain's also like, it is also kind of your fault. And the guy's like, no.
I knew you weren't in the room for that, so I want you. They're doing that. Fingers
Basically,
across.
we're a failed society. Like, there's no excuse.
He's doing this with the throat thing. He goes, no, her throat wasn't slit. They were shot. They were shot. Anyways, it's kind of your fault, Juan.
It's an interesting dichotomy with Captain Loomis because he's like, earlier he's like, the old ways aren't working. And now he's like, we have a way of doing things. But, and so of course
Juan
he reacts.
doesn't approve, man.
Juan reacts the way that any rogue cop,
Loose cannon.
who doesn't play by the rules, would act. He takes his badge out of his pocket and he throws it on the desk and walks out.
Well, because the captain does say to him, he's like, maybe you should take a few weeks off. And I wrote, though, I go, yeah, that's a good idea. Like,
And
just
he thought so too.
let's do a little bit of a leave. And that's when he says, fuck that. Here's my badge. I quit. Now I'm not part of your rules anymore.
Now, I don't know how the Mexican police system works. Maybe when you go on a several-week vacation, you do have to turn in your badge so you don't abuse that power. So maybe he is just very angrily telling his boss, yes, I'm going to take this several-week paid vacation to mourn
I think
my
he said, I'm
family."
quitting.
That's one interpretation for the scene.
Maybe that's just when you take a vacation
Now-
in Mexico. You got to quit.
Listen,
Now,
I know what
we
my...
don't speak Spanish.
No.
We
Yeah.
can't trust the translation. It's
true.
a fan
It's true.
translation.
That's true. We didn't talk about that.
Well,
this is a
maybe-
fan
It
translation.
Yeah.
says at the end,
Actually-
it says it was fan translation.
Okay, so you think Juan was going like, no, it's actually all our own fault. It's all our fault. And the chief's like, you should go kill him, Juan. And he's like,
the other way
no,
around.
I would never. In fact, I'm turning my badge in
How
protest.
dare you,
Yeah.
sir? Though I like, this happens so often in these cop movies. The cop is like, I'm going to kill him. And they're like, well, you can't. You're a cop. He's like, then I'm not a cop anymore. Now I'm going to kill him. And the cops don't stop that guy.
Well, that's why in Death Wish he was like, that's right, because I'm an architect.
I'm going to go build.
Yeah, I'll do whatever I want. No cops stop me.
I wish one of us was fluent in Spanish because I want one of us to speak Spanish with a Bronson accent.
Imagine Bronson.
Donde está el baño?
Muchos gracias.
We saw a whole movie where Bronson went to Mexico and didn't speak a word of Spanish, even though he's supposed to be blending in.
Speak a word. He didn't tolerate a word of Spanish. Someone spoke Spanish to him. He punched him in the
Chuck,
mouth.
can you at least say hola? Can you at least say hola to a...
Holla.
Aloha.
That's as far as we're getting.
And so we cut from this after he throws his badge down and walks out to Jorge and his partner on a drive talking about it.
Well, they were also in the office,
Yeah,
which
they were
was
standing
really,
there the whole time, saying nothing.
really awkward because Jorge and his partner are just kind of like waiting for their next job or something. They're like, oh,
We showed up a little
They're
early.
just waiting to turn in their time cards. 'cause
yeah.
it's
And the chief's
Friday.
like, no, stay here. It's fine. This will be done in a
I
minute.
want you to see this. I want
Yeah.
everyone to see this.
And so they were like, well, that was intense, wasn't it? Now, and what Jorge says is what we have to do now is try and keep him from doing anything crazy.
Yeah, we're going to be main characters in this movie. We got to make sure we keep an eye on Juan.
Yeah.
And we make sure... You hear that gunshot?
Fortunately, Juan's got us to keep him from really
Yeah.
going off the deep end. Hey, what's going on over here?
Yeah, you heard that gunshot, right?
We better respond to it.
Yeah. Go to a robbery already in progress.
At a
the
video
mall.
store.
At a video store in a mall.
Now, am I to understand that these
Were they driving
robbers,
through the middle of the mall? Because
they're
It's an
upstairs,
open-air
which,
market.
by the way, worst place to rob. You're going to go to an upstairs business?
and then take the down escalator?
Also, video store, man, not a place flush with cash.
Not a lot of money there.
No. Like, what are you talking? Like, tops like $2,000 a day in that?
He should have
register?
held them up for a VHS of Intrepidos Punks and held it up for the camera.
But, okay, not only are these people robbing the second floor of a strip mall, okay, but am I to understand that they shoot a customer?
Yep.
At one
Yeah.
point, the only person they shoot is a customer and not an employee?
They end up gunning down the employees at the end of this.
But they shoot the customer first.
That's how you know they're not fucking around.
Dude.
They walk in, they shoot somebody who's just, trying to rent a copy of...
driving Miss Daisies in
Yeah.
her hand. And
I don't know how she got it so soon, but,
I don't know. Let's say E.T. Trying to rent E.T.
yeah. E.T. in 1987, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been
That's-
on VHS.
yeah,
but
sure.
It would have cost $100 to rent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So
someone just got done saying, well, can you call me when you get it back in? And then blam, bullets. And so, they won all the money. They won all $300 they've made so far today,
Yeah.
if even that.
Well, like Tanner said, renting those ET bucks back then.
And now they got what they wanted. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. And they mow down the employees, everyone in that room. But we've spent all the money on squibs in the opening scene. So we just hear the... And all the everyone just goes, ooh, and falls down with no bullets, no squibs, nothing, no blood. And our heroes call for backup. They're like, oh, shit's going down. We're at the mall. Get over here. And we have a big shootout.
We're at the mall.
Mall of Mexico.
Yeah.
And as they're taking cover, Jorge turns to his partner during the shootout and goes, that thief with the machine gun is very dangerous.
Yeah. Also, I'm
Got it.
so glad I'm 2 days away from retirement.
excellent police work there, Jorge. The guy
like,
with the machine gun.
You're going to
is
want to watch out
dangerous.
for he's mansplaining a
Yeah.
shootout to his partner. He's like, all right, that guy shooting the machine gun, he's shooting at us.
Yeah. Also, have I told you the name of my new boat I'm going to buy when I retire? We already picked out the name. I already bought the bottle of champagne.
It's called the Easy Living.
yeah.
Would you like to see a picture of my boyfriend?
Yeah. So I'm going to go up these stairs right now. I'm going to be fine.
And so he goes upstairs and God damn it, sure enough, he gets shot in the chest.
Yeah.
Like, well, glad you showed up for this movie, Jorge.
They had him for one day.
It's that classic thing. You see this in slasher movies a lot, where like we bring back somebody from the previous movie, Randy and Scream, and like we brought him back, but we don't really have any plans for him.
Yeah.
So
Nobody
we
really
gotta tie
cared.
up the loose ends. Like, well, what happened to him? No one's gonna ask that question if we just shoot him. And he didn't even die at the hands of the punks. Like, this could have been.
This is a
I think I
random
talked to you,
street
Mike,
shot.
about
Yes.
this. Where you, Michael, about this. Where we could have had like a back and forth. The punks mowed down his family, so he takes out a couple of the punks, and then they're like, "Oh, you want to play?" And so they start picking off his friends, like
Yeah.
his partners, and maybe
Bobby, that would take too much effort.
it's too much of a story being told.
Yeah.
Of like, an eye for an eye makes the whole world
Because,
blind.
by the way,
that would have really
nobody's-
made the end scene pretty poignant.
We should say that, like, hey, why didn't they mention the writer of this movie? Because they're not credited on IMDb. There's no credited writer. It just says director.
Because they just kind of winged it.
Just
I
assuming
think
they
it's-
just showed up
We wrote it in camera.
and just... Jorge's just like, so what do I do in this one? He's like, no, you die.
He's like, I didn't even get to die from the punks?
No.
Like somebody who's not even in this fucking movie?
No, man. It's dark.
Yeah, it's just random violence from somebody else.
We're
You know-
all to blame.
It's
know
all
what-
of us.
You know what I
we
felt
killed
like?
that man.
Is that they totally forgot about Jorge and his partner. Because if you notice...
Like, why don't they
the
show up
scene
during any of this?
before, she had completely different hair. Like,
Yeah.
she has, like, her hair down.
This feels like an insert.
And she's wearing a fucking dress. And then we cut to her in the car, and her hair is, like, up now, and it's shorter, and she's wearing, like, a police outfit.
Makes sense.
It's, like, a completely different scene. Maybe even a different lady. I don't know. But then they're just like, yeah, we should really do something about that stuff that happened earlier in the movie. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah. And so Jorge tragically dies. And his new partner is just sort of sitting around now. Like, I don't really know what to do in this movie now.
And they're like, don't worry, you're not in it anymore.
Yeah.
You're done.
And so from there, we go back to Juan, and he's doing some John Wick style sad man driving. He's just driving around, man. He's in his truck with the camper shell, and he's just like crying to himself.
Well,
I
I'll
really
tell
do
you.
like that car he drives.
That's a nice truck.
Yeah, 4-door.
It's not bad.
With a camper on the back.
Got some good towing capacity.
Well, yeah, I mean, he does what everybody does when they're sad, is that he's crying while he's driving, then he pulls over to some restaurant, and he goes, give me a big bowl of soup.
Yeah.
You know,
Sometimes you just want a little comfort food.
it's what heals you.
Mix the tears in with the soup, man.
And
Just a
so
little bit of
yeah,
It's like
salt.
a replenishing bowl.
Yeah.
what's amazing
Of
too is
sadness.
that does feel very much like a scene we'd see in a Bronson movie. He'd be like, "Yeah, give me the soup."
Oh, Bronson would
Old
certainly
Bronson
go
just
to a
sitting
Mexican
there
restaurant.
quietly eating soup at a Mexican restaurant.
Bronson would go to a Mexican restaurant and see like taco, burrito, all this stuff. He goes,
I guess I'll have the soup.
Give me a soup.
It's all the best we can do. What is this? Tortilla soup? I don't.
They bring a tortilla on the side. He goes, no.
Throws it on the floor.
I don't need these. I already got a napkin.
Do not put these on my table. Puts his gun on the table.
Well, remember in Death Wish 2 when he had that maid who made him dinner and he was like, let's go see what she made us.
Oh God.
Something weird. Tortillas.
And so he's sitting there blowing on his soup. And who drives by? But goddamn, it's the Intrepidos Punks.
It's a punk parade.
What were the
Yeah.
chances of all
Well-
of Mexico?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
In my understanding is that there's only one road in this town.
just like in the first one.
Yeah.
And so he's watching them circle around like the main drag.
Now, were you guys as concerned as I was about the dog that's in these shots?
I'm always concerned
That's
about dogs.
like a street dog that's just kind of running around, kind of lightly barking at the motorcycle. So I was like, "Oh, don't hit that dog."
I know
Yeah.
it'll be
That
like
dog.
a raggedy ass dummy that they'd show, but
Yeah.
I still don't want it to happen.
But luckily, dog is okay.
Yeah, and luckily the punks don't like soup.
And so we get the Bronson stare because he looks
He
up from
does.
his soup and he sees the punks, and we have that long shot of just him like, there they are. And so he puts on sunglasses and
Yeah.
he just goes, he walks up to a pillar, just kind of stands there, just watching the punks.
Blending in.
I
Yeah,
really would
looking
have loved
natural.
if they had the Miss 45 like sound cue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mr. Met's down there eating a soup. He starts tailing the punks in his sweet ass truck.
Now, when you say tailing, he just like gets in his truck immediately and just follows
He just
them.
joins
Like,
the
it's not
parade.
even like sneakily at all.
Well,
It's
there's
just-
so many of them and so many engines roaring. I don't think anyone bothered to look behind them.
no.
And
wouldn't
they
have-
don't check their blind
Look,
spots.
he
They're not
acts-
safe drivers.
No, and he acts like they're gonna notice him at the restaurant. They don't care. They don't know him. Like they would not even recognize him.
I'm not sitting there eating soup.
No.
Everyone sits and eats soup.
And the thing is, like, he's a very... There's nothing about his hair, or nothing about him that really stands out. This dude can get lost in a crowd.
They would not be like, holy shit, that's that guy we raped his whole family and left him alive eating soup right
They do
over
this
there.
shit everywhere they go.
Yeah,
He's just
exactly.
one of them.
They don't remember him.
In fact, that's that would have also been pretty interesting. Because he's doing that whole, like, and I will track every one of you down and kill every one of them. They're like, who are you? Like, I'm sorry, I don't even remember what you're talking about.
What rape? You know, there's been
Yeah.
so many.
Like,
We
it
don't
means so
know.
little to them.
What,
that, like,
quinceañera?
the defining thing that changed everything about his life was just like a fucking afternoon for them.
Like, listen, sorry we killed your dad or whoever.
Yeah,
You
like-
didn't kill my dad. You killed my wife and my daughter and my,
And my
older-
cousins and my
Oh.
mailman and everyone
wait,
else who was at that
Is
first.
your name?
Yeah, what quinceañera was it though?
What street did you live on?
No, that's it. Not ringing a bell. Sorry.
And the punk he's talking to is like, "No, I was off that day, man. I wasn't there." Anyway, so he's trailing him in his truck. He follows them to Punk HQ covertly, climbs up on the tallest rocks.
Covertly.
It's out in the open. There's a dude with a fucking rifle.
Like, they
wearing
just-
like a windbreaker.
They
In a
turn
members only jacket.
Yeah, they turn right into a driveway. He just turned right into another driveway before them. Comes out with a big ass rifle and just stands on a hill looking at them as they're doing donuts.
He's climbing up on these rocks and just watching them through the scope of his rifle. And we get sort of the not yet
By the
moment.
way, he's not even ducked or anything. He's just
standing
standing
there.
up, like just not in any camouflage or
Yeah.
anything. He's got fucking soup stains all over his shirt.
He's in a fucking steakhouse jacket. And he looks like a football coach. And he's just standing there with a gun, and he's like, no, I'm not going to pull the trigger on anybody just yet. And so he gets back in his truck. And in the next scene, we see him showing up at his Airbnb.
Okay. Weren't you hoping though that like I know he's living the bachelor lifestyle now, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think he at least should have brought the cake and like been eating it slowly?
There's a Tupperware of the leftover cake.
Yeah, like because who's gonna think of the cake?
What would have been great is while he's up on the rocks watching them, just up from below the screen, you just see the slice of cake come up. He just slowly takes a bite, like,
I'd like it if he was just kind of eating it
Throughout
the
the
whole movie.
film.
Yeah.
He's working on that cake.
I would want it that he only takes a slice of cake after he kills one of the punks.
Oh, that's like
So that's his thing.
That's the
like,
signature.
Yep.
He eats
See?
another piece of his daughter's birthday cake.
It could have made sense, but
We
no.
could make such a better version of this movie
gonna think of
without
the
having to
cake?
sacrifice the brutal rapes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep all that in.
No.
Just add
Leave the
cake.
rape bit. Okay, for sure.
Yeah, that's what,
We need a little
I think
less
we're all in
soup.
agreement here. We're keeping the rapes in.
Oh yeah, so he's dropping his luggage off at his Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
got
a-
his
He's
nice
got
little-
like a backpack and
his
a
little
briefcase and a duffel.
cabin.
Which I have to say, already dirty.
Yeah.
Which is you kind of you show
Whoever
up to
had
the
it last
Airbnb, you're
did
like,
not clean it up.
"Eee, man.
He doesn't care. It's going to serve the purposes. This is Punisher.
Yep.
Yeah, because at one point when we see him try to eat a meal,
Clearly, his wife made the meals.
Yeah.
at one point, like, because we might skip over it.
No,
he
we won't.
Let's not skip
opens.
over
Where he makes a meal and we watch him make and eat a meal in real time.
Yep.
Yeah, but he doesn't really eat it or make it.
Hey.
He just opens a can of meat.
I think
looks
it's
like
sardines.
dog food. Yeah,
It's
pours it-
classic like dad shit.
and then he just puts it on a plate, takes up a piece of white bread, pinches some meat into it, takes one bite, not even of the meat, just the bread, and then puts it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I not to skip ahead to the spoiler part, but I thought he was making that sandwich as like
Yeah,
for his prisoner.
yeah,
Be like,
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
eat this shit, but then
Yeah.
he takes a bite. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Maybe he got confused. He took a bite and went, "Oh, that was for me." I'm sorry.
yeah.
sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, I got a little hungry.
He slides the plate with a bite taken out of the sandwich. He's like, "I'm really sorry about that."
He is living kind of divorced dad style now. He's eating bowls of soup and canned meat.
He's trying to find
With
himself.
white
man.
bread.
Just cruising around his truck, figuring it all out.
He's got a Tinder account already. It's real rough.
He's not sure how it works exactly. He keeps swiping the wrong way on people. Oh, she's nice, and she's gone. I don't know. So anyway, he
Well, he keeps thinking about these damn punks.
it's hard
He's
to
like,
shake
"These
it.
damn punks.
And we cut to these damn punks, and they're having a satanic torch party, where someone. So Panther's doing a strip show.
and
One of 100 of them that she does. Everyone's got torches.
Yeah, new Hedwig is dancing around.
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
she's great.
She's got a lot
just
to live
wonderful.
up to, though, because old Hedwig was so good.
Yes, my wife has been singing Cisco's thong song. It just somehow got stuck in her head.
Like the whole thing.
No, just the dumps like a truck. So as soon as Panther got nude and you see her butt, I immediately just said dumps like a truck.
To be fair,
she's got dumps like a truck.
she's what the kids call dummy thick.
Yeah.
Like she's wonderful, and she's got thighs like what? That's the last bit of objectifying I'll do.
Well,
That's
this
not what
is
we're
all
here for.
going on, though. This is what I wrote in my notes, is that when you look at Tarzan behind the mask, I think there's a hint of sadness in him. As he's looking out over all these punks, and he's like, is this it? Like, is this what
Is
we're
this
going
all
to do?
there is?
Is this all there is? Like, we just party every day. It's the same thing. Coke, weed, beer, death. Is that it?
You know what we needed from Tarzan? We needed a scene where he gets in the pool and he's underwater, just kind of looking up.
Well,
And he's just thinking about all of it.
what we get him in is the Skull Throne, where he's just sitting there and he just has this vacant stare, like,
On a fucking Shao Kahn throne.
yeah, and he's almost like, I feel like we need something else. Like, maybe I'm going to bring religion in.
We gotta up the ante a little bit. And he's looking over, and someone during this party has like handcrafted a Baphomet. You know, the big like the Church of Satan giant,
like a big paper mache devil.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna put it in the Rose Parade.
Yeah,
Like it's really,
and that's where you think he's like. When I see him, he's like, there we go. That's something.
and it
That's
gives him that
something
thing.
we
He's
can
like,
do.
okay,
New group activity.
let's
This
lean
camp
hard into
needs-
Satanism.
Yes, it
our
needs
theme song
something.
mentioned it, but we never really did anything.
Yeah, he's like, we need meaning because you can't just like party endlessly, right? We need a purpose.
He's getting tired. He's having a crisis. You know, he's getting a little more barrel chested. He aches a little bit more in the mornings. He's like, this needs to go somewhere.
Because there's even the part where New Hedwig's doing the dance in front of him, and he's just like, eh.
Well, to be fair, old Hedwig was a professional burlesque dancer.
Yeah.
This
But it's
is
not
just
working for Tarzan.
This is just a sexy lady.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have the training.
But you know what?
Amateur hour.
He's like, man, it's just not as good.
But fuck that.
It's
we're back,
waitress night at
you
the
know,
club.
Yeah. Juan is back at home, and I write, he just saw Death Wish.
Yeah. Because this is,
Because-
he's unloaded the duffels. And,
Yeah.
he's putting together, he's cleaning all of his
He's going
guns.
full Kersey. If he had a fucking beanie, we'd be right there,
I was
right?
expecting it. In my notes, I have right here, all caps, full Bronson. Like, we have completely become a
He
Death Wish movie.
has
now.
now transformed into Juan Bronson for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. And so he's ready to go, and we cut already to a lone punk at a campfire.
Yeah,
Some
Pisser Punk.
outlier. Like,
Yeah.
Pistol Punk got, like... He
I
got
called
lost.
him Pisser Punk.
Oh,
because he's
I'm sorry.
pissing.
Yeah,
He's taking
sure.
a leak, and Juan Bronson sneaks up on him, clocks him over the head, covers his mouth, and handcuffs him.
And I'm
then-
like, oh, he's just trying to get information.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna be one of those
interesting.
scenes.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
he slings him over his shoulder and carries him out. He's gonna take him back to the Airbnb. And he's gonna figure it all out.
Yeah. But before that, we get look, Tarzan found something. He found religion.
We're gonna give it a shot. So Tarzan is in. It's like a traffic cone that's been like put through a tie-dye maker.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Tie-dye
wrote my
Klansman.
notes. Dunce hat.
It's a dunce cap
It
with eye
works
holes.
a- it works
It's
a
not
lot of
quite a
ways.
clan hood because it's very rigid.
Yes.
Yeah.
But massive cone.
Very Technicolor pastel.
Joseph and the Technicolor dunce cap.
That sums up this movie pretty well. And and to go with that, he's in like a bright red wrestling singlet.
Awesome
Like something
costume
Kurt
changes.
Angle would wear.
Clearly, he's like new to this. He's like, all right, guys, bear with me. We're gonna pray to the devil, right? But Bobby's showing us a picture of
I
him.
pulled up a photo to get us in that moment.
Look, we're gonna pray to the devil, but I don't really know how it works yet. So all I know is like we need some sort of sacrifice, right? Like
he's like,
sacrifice,
all right,
sacrifice.
It's time for worship. I want everybody to take a knee. We're gonna kneel for our protector.
And
now that we're a
somebody-
Satan gang.
Somebody did find us a pig. Thank
It was a
you.
goat.
It was.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I
a
thought
goat.
it was
It's got fur
luau.
all over it.
I thought it was luau night.
I
So
thought that
they
at
were
first too, but it
also-
appears to be a goat.
Okay.
But yeah, they got a big old carcass, like a sheep, you know.
Maybe
And,
this was supposed to be luau night. You know, at the Punks, like he was gonna try something new, and he's like, "You can't do a luau with a goat."
They don't have
Oh,
goats
shit.
in Hawaii.
You know what?
I think that was the thought process. He's sitting there on that throne. He's just like, we gotta do something new. We gotta Hawaiian night. That'd
Yeah,
be great.
come on.
We're gonna get the grass skirts.
And then
we're
he's
gonna
like-
do the whole thing. And he's like,
You got a goat. We can't have a fucking
Goats aren't really
roast with a
Hawaiian.
goat, and it's got hair all
Shit.
over it.
What do you use a goat for? Goats are I don't know, Satanism.
Okay.
All right,
There
we're
we go.
Satans.
There we
look,
go.
it
Yeah.
was
We
gonna
gotta
be
go.
luau.
Yeah.
We'll do luau next week. Tonight we're doing Satan.
It's Satan week at Los
Satan-
Intrepidos Punks.
Because he's clearly new to this. As
Yeah.
they open the goat up, and he takes out the intestines.
It's like a magic trick. It's like the pulling out the ribbons.
I was
Yeah.
hoping it would all be ribbons tied together. But yeah, he calls out to the night, Lord of Hell, your sons adore you. And then pulls
Again,
out...
I'm new, sir. I don't know. You know, we haven't bought the book yet. They were supposed to get us the Satan Bible or whatever, but they didn't have it at the library, so we're gonna have to
He's
wait.
doing his best.
Yeah.
But yeah, he holds up the goat entrail like it's a Mortal Kombat fatality. And then everybody chants, Satan, we are yours, in Spanish.
Like,
Like
again,
7
we're new.
times.
We're
Just-
new at this.
Yeah.
So
Like, I think that's how that works. And then, hey, you know what? Everyone gets a taste. They start passing around pieces of this goat, and everyone has to lick a little bit of blood off of it.
yeah,
Yep.
except
Some-
for one guy.
Well, some
One
people
punk.
take bites. Some people lick.
Yeah.
But
the
there's
sheep
a
head.
vegan punk.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, oh, fuck no, I'm not. He gets nauseous at the thought.
I felt like he was also like, man, these punk's lifestyles change, dude. Like, we're getting.
And that, I think
It's getting weird around
Yeah,
here, man.
we don't see that guy again after that scene.
I think
right?
he leaves. I think,
Yeah, I
he's
think
like,
he leaves.
I don't.
And I feel like he also he didn't do it because I think he had a rosary. Like he had like a cross or something. I remember he kind of grips
I didn't
it.
catch
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he was like, dude,
He's
I'm not
like-
here for Satan.
Yeah.
Like, that's not.
I believe in
He's
my
all
Lord
about-
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
my personal Lord and Savior.
I
I'm a
thought we
punk
were-
and a rapist, but you know.
I thought we were talking about Satan in the theme song just to be punk and edgy.
Yeah, like the
you know, it's-
swastika thing.
yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
are we Nazis?
Shit. So what
Oh,
else are we
no.
being sincere about? And so after that happens, we cut back to Marco. I'm sorry, Juan Bronson.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
we,
Let's call him
do
by
we
his
not
real
want
name.
to talk about the dancer with the gold wig and the
please.
weird? So
We got another naked
So we got
lady.
more
well,
nudity.
they're like, what else
naked
is
lady.
Satan like? He likes dancers.
It's like I think this might be Medusa. I'm not sure because she's wearing a wig.
She's got the headgear like she's Medusa.
yeah, and she's
Let's say it is.
we'll say it's Medusa. She's dancing and she's wearing body paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the design painted on her body makes it look like she has pubic hair like around her belly button.
yeah, it's
It
an
is
odd
real
choice.
giant
Very weird.
Gonzalez.
And this is it's one of those things where I was like, I feel like I need to pay closer attention to the scene because this is weird, but also it's weird that I'm like rewinding it and playing it again
to watch this lady's pubes.
Does she have pubic hair like on her like?
She was, she was
midriff?
going really high concept. She was going all in for Satan. That she's like, and I'm turning into like a satyr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've got like the fur is gonna come up and it's gonna be a little higher because I'm kind of turning half goat. And
Yes.
and no one got
She
it.
saw
No.
that Cameron Mitchell movie with the Nazi goat guy.
Yeah.
You know, the one from Night Train to Terror.
Yeah.
She was inspired.
Totally inspired. So yeah, so that's a very weird part. But then I finally got a good look at it. It's like, oh, it's body paint, and it's a weird kind of slightly phallic thing. Where
There's
Tanner
the
was
move,
caught
though.
up on this.
You want to be
Yeah.
punk. She needs to paint a big peen on her abdomen.
And he
nothing's
keeps
more Satan than the penis.
keeps singing to himself, "Dump like a truck" or whatever.
Truck. That's that what?
Pretend you don't know.
Dong, da, dong, dong, dong.
Doing cartwheels on the beach. Now we cut back to Juan Bronson. He's got his catch laying on some hay.
Oh yeah,
bales.
the pisser punk. I was like, oh okay, he's gonna get some information out of him.
And the guy is, losing his mind right now. He's
Yeah.
he's freaking out, man. And Juan Bronson tells him, hey, you know what? Scream all you want. No one's gonna hear you.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm like, okay, get some info out of him, Juan. Juan, you're hitting him. Juan, stop.
Yeah, the
you
punk
gotta
starts
at least
begging
ask
for
him.
forgiveness
You got-
for what he did. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about what we did to your family. I didn't mean to.
I was so high, I didn't even know
Yeah.
what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm stoned out of my mind. I'm just following
And I'm-
orders."
I'm like, Juan, he's trying to talk. Juan, you keep
Quick,
kicking
stop
him.
kicking him in the mouth. He's trying to tell you what's going on, and then he
Apparently,
suddenly, he
Juan
throws
thought
him.
he was going to be fighting vampires.
I think
he
he
has a
was.
large.
I thought it was like an
sharpened
animal
stick.
horn. I thought.
Oh,
he had
I
like
thought
a-
it was a wooden stake.
Yeah,
Oh,
it looks like a wooden stick.
Okay, it's a wooden stick. I thought
I
it was
thought-
a bullhorn, not like a
no,
Jimmy Hart
look,
bullhorn, but I meant like a.
that would have made
Like he
more
gored
sense.
him with a bull. So the point
Yep.
is, he throws this guy down. He's like handcuffed behind his back, and he throws this guy down face first on the hay bale, and then he pulls out a wooden stake.
Yeah. He saw the paper mache devil, though. He didn't know what he was dealing with at this point. He's like,
yeah.
look, there's a lot of dark forces around this thing, so we couldn't be, too sure. Might
be a
as well
vampire.
wouldn't stake him. Yeah.
Don't want any of these butt vampires. And so he stakes him, but he doesn't stake him in the heart.
Imagine that John Carpenter's vampires movie, but instead of James Woods, you have Bronson.
So when I was kicking your ass back there, get a little mahogany. Father, please, a little teak.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah, so he jams this wooden stake up this punk's ass.
Yeah.
and he dies from his butt.
Yeah. Well, heart's in the ass, I think.
Hmm.
So,
This is a guy who really wore his heart on his ass. Yeah. And so the next day, the punks find Pisser Punk with a horn up his ass.
Yeah, and they're like, oh.
They're like, this ain't good. And they run to find Tarzan real quick. He is doing push-ups. He's doing his morning workouts in a Casey Jones mask. Like, what the fuck?
That's his workout mask.
Yeah.
He doesn't want the metal one to get all like sweaty.
Yeah. That's a special occasion
But
right there.
so he's just
It's the
got
party
this big,
mask.
like, it looks like something out of Splatterhouse.
Yeah, and
He
he's
gets more cartoonish every time we come back to HQ. He's in some other outlandish
yeah.
get up.
because he knew this movie sucked. He was like, we got to do something to spice this up.
Yeah. And so, it's just your standard issue, like, oh shit, something's up. Someone murdered one of my men. And we cut to Marco, and he's back in the Airbnb, and he is plagued with bad dreams. He's laying there just shaking, like, oh no. And he's thinking about what happened and what he's gonna do. So anyway, the punks are having a...
they vow revenge, like, because they know
course.
it was somebody that wasn't one of the punks.
But they blame farmers.
Yeah.
I think Big Hands was the name of the punk.
Big Hands was the pisser one.
Yeah.
Must have been a farmer. They're the only ones that do the stake up the ass.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
So it seems like
Classic.
a farmer thing. You know what
classic
I'm saying?
farmer.
It's a farmer move. And so, you had this whole ritual you did the night before. Your Satan week, you're like, we got all this sheep left over. What are we gonna do with it? Let's have a barbecue, you guys.
Yeah, we should say though that we do have that shot. You talked about Juan waking up in a cold sweat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. And didn't really think much of it.
We just go like from day to night,
So many
whenever.
times.
It's just fucking
It's almost
all over
like
the place.
like time doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like this is just sort of on its
Yeah.
own schedule.
Yeah, there's some sort of kind of
Time isn't moving like it normally does.
logic that maybe isn't
Not really bound to like what we're
reality,
used to.
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the punks are barbecuing the rest of that sheep because waste not, want not. It's
Of
not.
course, right?
Like they're not just gonna leave it on the ground.
Well, his name was Black Phillip. He wanted to live deliciously, right?
And now, I think now some of these people are a little more on board with Satan Week. They're like, this is all right. I got myself a little paper plate.
paper plate.
I got a little piece of the sheep. We're doing okay. This ain't bad. Really.
Yeah, they're like, okay, I'm
Who
all
made
in
the
for a
sauce?
punk barbecue. I like the idea. Like, so we still had Hawaiian night. We fit in both Satan night and Hawaiian night. There's no pig, but we did have the goat. It's fine. It's fine.
They're just like, Medusa, you a motherfucker with that sauce. This is something. And
Some of the punks aren't having fun though.
yeah, there's a little group led by Ohal. O-J-A-L.
So he's from the first movie.
Yeah, you'd recognize his face. He's the guy who he looks like kind of like John Oates, but he's dyed his hair into like a blonde mohawk.
Yeah, I was saying, like, he's
New
like,
wave John Oates.
New wave John Oates.
He's like,
John Oates jumped ship to a different band in the late 80s.
Yeah, like the guy from Sugar Ray, with the hair, the bleached hair. He's just got like bleached tips almost.
Yeah, he's frosted his tips. He's got a big porn stash.
Yeah.
And he's hanging out with Medusa and a couple other people. And we got some unrest going on amongst the punks.
Yeah, we didn't see this coming. He just goes like,
because everyone's cool. But
man,
then
I hate Tarzan. Fuck him.
they're like, I'm sick of him treating us like shit. He skimps on the coke and weed and saves all the good shit for himself.
Yeah.
And
We
so
should
they're,
get him.
They're planning a coup. They're like, Ohal is like, why the hell can't I just be leader? I've
they're
been
like-
around since the first movie.
They're like, yeah, you could. You just need to
I'm
get
a
rid of
recurring
him.
character. Come on.
Y'all remember me?
Yeah, Ohal.
Good old Ohal. It's gonna be Boss Ohal suited up.
I mean, you may have not known I had a name in the first movie, but we know it now because
Yeah.
everybody's going to say it 20 times.
Right. And
Just to make sure.
while we're doing this, we pan over, and Madman is in earshot. And he's just like,
Yeah.
heard
Now,
all that.
Were you guys also hoping, though, we'd have like a student council type of, run, like election?
Oh, God, a punk election would be
election.
so
Yeah.
good.
How would they do it, though? Would it be caucus style, or would we actually have ballots?
I don't know.
I think it's yay or nay.
Really?
Yeah, we're doing thumbs up, thumbs down on
Then
this
I think Tarzan's winning because unless you got a ballot system, people are going to be afraid to define.
one. Oh, that
him,
election's
so.
rigged as shit. You know
yeah,
that.
yeah, like a Putin election
Yeah,
over here.
yeah, suddenly Ohal's getting locked up. Like, sorry.
Damn, wouldn't you know? I won by 98%. Huh?
Well, good luck next time.
And 2% were just lost.
I don't know what happened. So, they're planning the coup. Madman hears this. Or, sorry, Mad Max.
Don't
hears
you
this.
like it, though, on the rig elections, on that, like...
Don't I
that
like it?
they,
No.
They never win by, like, 100%. It's always like, well, we
We'll
got
make it
to
look
make
real.
it, like, a little bit. So, like, 84%. And then, maybe some people... That
Just squeaked by.
Yeah, just, oh...
Yeah. Like we rig shit here in the States. Oh, I only made it by the Electoral College. The votes were meaningless, but I just barely won.
Oh, here we go.
And another fucking thing. Let me...
I know, I do like that. So I think Tarzan would be like, 60%. Ah, just got it.
Man, I'm losing it.
Well,
It's
I
getting lower every
pledge
time.
to do better.
Yeah. I
And
hope to get it up to at least 80.
My first law is we kill
Shoots
my
two
competitor who lost.
Yeah.
And he will
It
be
is
the
illegal
new
to
goat.
lose.
Yeah, he will be the new goat on Devil Night. So,
And so Tarzan, though, does have a speech to make. And because, Madman ran over, whispered a few things to him real quick, and he's like, interesting. Anyway, guys, I got the next big score planned.
yeah,
I
you got
found
a
this
new activity
big
for
house
camp.
full of money. We're going to
Yeah.
go do another home invasion, little rape here, little murder there. Going to leave with all the money.
Yeah, he
Maybe
says
we'll get gas.
he says they're they never get gas in this movie. That's a sad
I think we
thing.
learned from that one. That
Yeah.
debacle.
But-
Can't be trusted with gas.
He goes, New Hedwig told me about a house outside of town with a father, mother, and a kid, and the man's drowning in cash. So we'll kill the 2 guards that he has there,
Because
and
he's
then
loaded,
we'll take
so he's
all
got
the
guards
money,
in the house.
right?
Easy peasy.
And I'm like,
Easy
kids?
peasy, panther squeezy. Know what I'm saying?
And when he says kids, I'm like, no,
We not do kids anymore.
no.
They cut to the rosary guy again. He's like, damn it. No. I got to get out of here.
But everybody's ready to go, but then all of a sudden
And he goes-
Tarzan looks over
he
at
goes-
Ohal.
You checked the machines, right?
He's like, machines?
I'm just learning about this plan.
Is that
I
what we're
didn't-
calling the motorcycles
You
now?
didn't-
Is machines?
They
or-
do throughout the film. Like
Yeah.
people, punk and non-punk alike, are just like those machines because they're the wacky racers. They're
Yeah.
not regular
You
motorcycles.
know those things with 2 wheels, sometimes 4, sometimes 6.
These are weird
So,
machines, man.
yeah.
This Dr. Seuss shit you guys are driving around on. And he goes like, "Yeah, I'm just hearing about this for the first time, dude. Of course
Yeah.
I didn't get the bikes
He's
ready. I
like,
didn't know we were
would've.
leaving."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Idiot."
Yeah, and then he goes, you stay behind and check on the bikes.
And so we go to that night.
And I gotta say, by the way, thank God we didn't have to see the home invasion.
Oh, I know. We never actually go
We
to that
stayed with
house,
Ohal instead.
which I prefer. And that night, they get back from the big thing. And I guess there was an issue with Tarzan's bike.
Deleted scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he comes
We
back,
reference
look,
it like we
it's
saw the scene. It's not like someone doesn't come along and go, here's what happened.
It's working fine. He rolls up in it and then immediately jumps out and goes, fucking bike broke, you dick. And
He
he's
starts
like, you
beating
did
him
it on
up. He's like, you
purpose."
broke that shit on purpose. He yells to one of his other guys, goes, hey, Cat, show him what the line of command is around here. And Cat, who would be the second in command.
Oh, no. Do you think Cat might be that rapist from the movie a year later?
I think so. And he comes over and he starts roughing him up too.
Yeah.
Because he's like, look, dude, there's people below me you got to deal with. You can't just come for the king.
Yeah. Ohal's pretty low down, man. He's not even in middle management yet. He's low down.
And so they humiliate him. They beat him up a little. They leave him there to think about it. And he looks up and goes, I'm going to kill you, you son of a bitch.
Like, if Ohal was in the band, he would just be like the triangle player.
Yeah.
At this point. Like, he's got to work his way up.
And so that same night here at HQ, Juan Bronson sneaks up on a guy called Viking and judo chops him and drags him out.
Yeah.
We literally just get him come up and go, the hi-ya! and then just drags him off frame.
And this scene where he kills him
The next morning.
is just so... Like, I don't really understand what the point of this was. It was, like, so elaborate, and I bet they thought this was going to look so cool, but none of it translates to camera, and it just looks really shitty.
Yeah. So what happens is he's kicking him around like he did Big Hands. And he ends up placing him tied up in like a barbecue pit.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
a
That was just
2 foot
like
deep pit.
Yeah, a shallow hole in the ground. I
Sounds
thought
like-
that was for barbecuing.
I thought it was like, oh, he's going to put him in a well or something.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna
it's
murder
like
you in a well.
Like a beach pit.
And I thought maybe he was going to set him on
barbecue.
fire once I figured out it was a barbecue pit. So he
Yeah.
was going to make a barbecue out of him. Which fits because we just had one with the sheep
Exactly.
thing.
No.
It makes sense.
No.
Instead, and so as he's doing this, he looks over his shoulder and over there he sees a bag. It's got the big burlap sack.
Yeah, it's wiggling.
Yeah, and so he signals to the audience. He does the finger in the air. He just DDT'd this guy, and he turns the bag upside down, and Damien and all of his friends come falling out.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of snakes.
Covers
falling
him
on
in snakes,
I
but of
would-
course,
No, hold on. Covers.
covered
It's a-
head to toe. Okay,
Every inch of him
It's
slithers.
like this guy got 2 spaghetti noodles on him, is what it
yeah.
looks
What
like.
he drops is like a couple of harmless, friendly snakes, like the
There's
non-venomous
2
ones.
snakes.
I
There's
was
2
really
snakes.
hoping that this would set a precedent that all of the punk deaths would be by phallic objects. We've got a snake.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
a wooden stake.
Yeah?
Come on, give me something else phallic.
A
steak
keep
snake.
up the theme.
A big ceramic dildo.
A big ceramic dildo.
You could. Yeah, like a Clockwork Orange
Orange.
style. Yeah.
That's what I was
Orange.
thinking about. Or just he like Orgasmo and Chota Boy. He just starts beating a guy with a dildo.
Yeah.
No. He just
go
puts
there.
2 limp snakes on him, and then
It's
they
like
just...
the ones Pee-wee saved from the pet store. It's not even like scary looking snakes, but the guy reacts like he's being like it's that scene in Sugar Hill with the coffin.
Yeah. But the thing is, they couldn't even get the snakes to stay on him because they just go to the bottom of the pit.
Yeah, they're getting the hell outta
And
here.
then he
They don't
goes,
want anything to do with it.
and he dies. And it's like, oh, I guess they bit him. They couldn't even get a close-up of the snake biting or anything. Like, nothing.
And so now we cut to later that morning, next day, 2 weeks later. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Because time isn't really moving like it should. And they find him having been killed to death by snakes. And that's when Tarzan says, someone wants us dead.
Yeah, well, you still don't know who could have possibly done it, but he goes, but I bet it's Ohal.
And you know what? That makes sense. The
Well,
guy who was just
yeah.
like, fuck this, I'm going to start taking out the chain of command. I want to take over this gang.
But then this lady runs over
Medusa.
and she goes, no. It couldn't have been him because didn't we murder that cop's family and leave him alive? Like, maybe it's him.
Have you guys considered that maybe it's that cop whose whole family we raped and killed and then left him alive to swear vengeance on all of us?
Well, that's
Like-
not ringing
And Tarzan's
a bell.
like,
Okay, it's either that guy or Ohal.
He's like, but Ohal's a dick.
But I don't like Ohal.
Yeah.
I really want to beat his ass again.
Yeah. And that
And
cop, I
Medusa,
don't
who's
think,
in on
you
the
know.
coup with Ohal, is like, it's probably not Ohal.
And I mean, that cop put us in prison before, but I don't think he had anything to do with this, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Seems
So-
a bit of a stretch.
So now it's nighttime. Panther's hanging out, and stop me if you heard this one. Juan sneaks up behind her, gives her the judo chop, and
Well,
drags
we
her
say
out.
that Tarzan is just passed out like on a wooden board.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a bed he sleeps on. It's just a fucking table. He sleeps on a lunch table.
You've never gotten wooden board high?
Yeah.
You just take a nap there?
He is. He's just laying down there, and that's why she kind of gives up. Goes outside.
Well, nothing's going to happen here. So,
she's stumbling drunk.
Yeah.
And that's when Juan Bronson comes
Juan
up.
gives her the old hi-ya to the shoulder, and Vulcan neck pinches her and then drags her out. And she wakes up tied to a bed.
Yeah. This
She's
is...
like, whoa.
Yeah, and then he
I'm
takes
normally
out...
not into this unless we've agreed on it.
Yeah. And you said phallic object, Tanner. Takes out that gun. And what does he do?
Beats her up with it. Sticks in her face.
Well, he starts rubbing it all over her. He's like,
Yeah.
where do you want me to shoot you? Want me shooting you in the eye?
Oh, that's right.
Shoot you in the
Yeah,
mouth.
this scene was...
Shoot you in the
This is
stomach.
a very upsetting scene.
This was like close one eye, kind of look away scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even
And-
Bronson wouldn't go this far.
Yeah, it gets pretty rough. And she tries to sex her way out of this. Like she does in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
That's kind of her character trait. And
I'm surprised there was no point when somebody went, his knife is his penis.
My God. Everything he used was his penis. But yeah, so she offers him sex, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sure you have lots of experience with that, but also with killing innocent people." And honestly, his quip game needs work.
Yeah. Well, he's just fallen into Juan Bronson, so he's not like fully there
Little
yet.
growing pains as he figures this character out.
It's like look, Bronson wasn't throwing around, jokes in Death Wish 1.
Not really.
He was more just like looking for waiters to kill.
Right. And so Juan Bronson pulls out a bullwhip, and he starts going, "Do you remember that night?" And he's like,
She's like, "Not really.
Who?
I'm sorry."
We do this a lot, man. And he's like, "You're going to pay for every drop of blood my family spilled." He starts tearing her clothes, and I'm like, "What's the plan here, Juan? I don't, I'm trying to be on your side about all this, dude." And, he starts whipping her.
Yeah, at this
And
point,
it goes way too long. We got the point.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
After,
is
the first
good.
lash.
In this whole movie, like at this point,
There's no
nobody
heroes.
is good.
There's no one to root for.
No.
Both sides are so far gone.
Yeah, and he's just whipping her. She's like bleeding it all over the
Unfortunately,
place.
The effects are not well done. So, like, her lash wounds are just literally like, all right, cut, and then they come in with a paintbrush and put another line of red on her.
I mean, it's enough.
It gets,
like I'm like, all right.
And I think I started focusing on how unrealistic that looked to keep me from getting too upset.
Yeah.
Because it's rough. And we're showing that we're making a point here during this scene, because we're showing him getting very like wide-eyed and crazy while he does it. Like he's losing his humanity. He's becoming no better than any of them. We're all to blame, Mike. It's a failing of society that this happened.
In the all to blame, though, it's just not very entertaining.
I really wanted more of the captain showing up periodically just to repeat that.
Yeah,
Just to give that speech
whisper it
again.
in his ear.
I would want just a little fade in of him like in the corner of the screen, just giving that speech while we see Juan.
Oh, man, like Blood Freak. It's just he's at a desk smoking the cigarette, explaining.
Love that.
And so we go back to HQ, and obviously word is getting around that Panther's missing.
Yeah, because Tarzan's like, wait, where's new Hedwig, man?
Where's my girl?
This is the moment where I found out that character's name is Panther.
That's when we go.
I was like,
okay,
oh, she's Panther.
which one's Panther?
Oh,
My notes had her
Yeah,
written
because
down
even
as
everybody's
Spider
like,
for
who's
the first page.
Who's Panther? He's like, the new Hedwig, the
Yeah,
lady,
my
like
notes
kind
were
of
all
like
new
the one
Hedwig.
from the first one, but now she does her hair like the old one.
Meanwhile, Tarzan fashion update. He's wearing a giant thimble on his head, like a Monopoly
Look,
thimble.
man, you got to change things up. Like I said,
Like
he's
his head looks
tired
like a
of the same
disco
old-
ball.
Yeah,
He looks like a villain from The Tick. And so then we talk to Ohal again, and he's still on his bullshit about the coup.
well, yeah, because Tarzan he goes to look for her. Okay, so he goes out
He's like,
looking
"I'm gonna
for
find
her,
Panther."
and he says to what's his name, the Mad Max guy,
Madman.
to watch over Ohal for him.
Yeah, Madman's supposed to keep an eye on Ohal.
So, but the way that Madman watches over him is that he just stands like 5 feet from Ohal,
Cocks his
doesn't
head and
listen to
listens.
anything because he's just not reacting and will never relay
playing
this
it cool,
information.
Mike.
But Ohal just is like, yeah, Tarzan's a real dick.
He's all, tonight Tarzan dies. We're going to get him while he's doing his exercises.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, that sounds good, man. Yeah.
Because this gang of losers, the Losers Club here, are just like, he's just too tough, man. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't occur to them just to walk up and shoot him in the face.
Well, how do you shoot him in the face? He's wearing that mask.
I don't know what to do.
It's a bulletproof
But
mask.
he's constantly sort of whining about, like, I'll never beat him in hand-to-hand combat. Like, just shoot him.
Maybe you're just not cut out for leadership, O'Hall.
You really don't need to be leader. So anyway, we hear Tarzan going over. He's laying down what we know so far about this movie. He's like, okay, we got 7 dead so far.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm not there yet.
No.
I'm totally
right
off.
now.
I'm
It's
sorry.
just
Never mind,
a random scene of punks driving around on a road, and then Juan pulls up next to them and just
Yeah,
he
that's
just pulls
them.
up along. That's a Bronson move. He just
Very.
pulls alongside and starts shooting out the window. Weirdly misses everyone.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is that eventually he pops a tire, and the car just goes like in the first Punks movie, where the car just randomly went off a cliff, right?
It suddenly drove off a cliff and exploded in midair.
In this one, though, they spent all that money on squibs. Because what happens is a car just rolls down a grassy hill that's not even steep. It just rolls down a hill, stops, and then we cut.
I had the car flipping.
There's no explosion.
No explosion, but the car does tumble.
The car flips?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, it's pretty clear that they've gone off a thing and been killed.
No, they rolled a car. Like
Did
they
they
took
really?
the engine
Yeah.
out of they took the engine and all the glass out of a car and then rolled it off the side of a hill.
Because it just looks like it rolls down. There's no
I
explosion.
think he might have looked away.
There's no
Because
explosion.
It rolls. I'm with you that there's no explosion.
Listen, we all agree there's no explosion.
No one's arguing that, Mike. But
Maybe there was an
rolls
explosion.
kind of calmly down the thing.
Yeah.
And then it tumbles.
The incline is
The
like...
incline's not much, but it does hit like a rock and then roll over. But like I said, they took all the glass out, they took the engine out. Most importantly, there's no one in this car.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Even though the last time we saw the car, there were like 5 people
yeah.
standing on the back of it, like a parade going down the street.
There's nothing.
There's nobody there.
Yeah.
It's the safest thing they could have done with little cleanup.
I believe it lands right side up, too.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, well, you didn't even know it rolled. But also, if I'm not mistaken,
that's what I'm saying.
Tanner,
It
would you
just-
agree that it doesn't explode?
It does not explode.
It just barely goes down the hill. Like,
Okay,
you can
Mike.
say it rolls
I-
violently. It does not roll even violently.
Through
It
the
just-
language of cinema, I understood that the car crashed and everyone in it died.
It is the weakest...
That's really what matters.
Do they? It's the weakest car crash I've ever seen. If this
did
point...
he ever even shoot them?
If the car was even rolling, you might just fall out and be like,
Yeah, maybe
Ow.
the car never even rolled off the hill.
I like the idea that they all fell out of the car and then got run over by the car.
Yeah.
That must have been what happened because I don't see anybody in there.
Because no one's there.
The car doesn't even have damage. Like, it's like got a
They
dent.
got a car from the junkyard and just tossed it down a hill.
Yeah, and they're like, this will be so great. And they're like, is it gonna...
It's what's left of the car that blew up in the first one.
Yeah.
Just went off the hill.
It is like the sedan, like the convertible sedan with the really bad fire painting on the side,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
that one, yeah. Yeah.
So it's got a few scratches. You still get your deposit back. They're
Surely.
they're gonna return it.
And,
Nobody's in the car.
And so now we've cut back to the HQ, and Medusa's talking to Tarzan. She's like, "So Tarzan, you're pretty worried about Panther, huh?"
He's like,
Not knowing where she is. He's like, "Well, she is a slut, so she's probably run off with someone." And he doesn't take offense to that. Everyone's just like, "Yeah, that's a point.
Yeah.
I guess that's a possibility.
Yeah.
She definitely is."
So now Medusa wants to be the new Hedwig.
She's thinking about that.
Yeah, she's like,
Medusa.
yeah, maybe I can move in here.
And they're talking about what's going on. He's like, okay, we got 7 people dead now. 2 that we saw. Mm-hmm. And 5 that were in that car that disappeared.
Well, no. The reason we learn about the car is because a random guy, have we ever seen him before?
We have seen him before because he is a weird-looking dude.
He does not look like he's one of the punks. Like, he looks like a weekend punker.
He does look like a weekend
You got
punk.
a few
He's
of
got
those
his
for
leather
sure.
jacket.
Yeah, he's like
He's
a
a
dad.
punk pledge.
He's divorced dad who showed up, and he's like, "Can I just hang out on the weekends?" They're like, "That's fine. We
He's
need
like,
a reserve."
he's like an extra from that Wild Hogs movie with John Travolta.
Yeah.
and
Or I imagine they did another home invasion like what happened to Juan Bronson, but like this was his reaction was to join the group.
Yeah.
I guess I'm with you guys now. And he hasn't quite gotten into
I've
the
been
look of
looking
it.
for a way to get out of that for so long. Thank you. I will join you.
But he pulls up in his motorcycle. He goes, Tarzan, you're not gonna believe it. That car from earlier rolled down a cliff, and they're all dead." And I was like, "Okay, let's,
And that's when he starts surmising. He's like, okay, so that puts the death count at 7.
if they're dead, they might have just run off.
They left.
You know what? At
Walked
that
away.
point, it's like they've staged their own death.
That's the only way to
they
get
had
out.
their way out. Yeah, I mean, they never found a body or anything in the car wreckage. Certainly didn't burn up.
There's not even evidence that the car rolled down that hill.
They're like, hot damn, there's a fucking car that rolled down this hill.
Which
Not one person in it.
I think we all agree. There's no evidence it didn't burn up because, as we all know, it didn't explode.
No, it did not explode.
Okay.
And there was no bodies.
Yeah.
No remains.
It might have exploded.
They go, they didn't find anybody.
It's almost like that car rolling off the hill and everyone dying didn't follow normal logic.
Weird.
Kind of like the passage of time. It's really just not making much sense. Now, he goes, okay, someone's killing us off. I think we've established someone's definitely killing us off.
Are they or are the punks just dumb? Like at some
it could be
point,
both.
it's
Why
like
can't it be both?
maybe they could just be really incompetent.
And he goes, okay, so it can't be Hall doing that. He doesn't have any balls. So
Also, he was
says
here.
That. He's just like, it's not him. He's over here, and he has no balls.
Yeah.
Yes,
also,
it's true. This man has no
it
dick.
wouldn't make any fucking sense because he was sitting right here the whole time while that car rolled down the hill.
And it occurs to him, he's like, damn, it's got to be that cop whose family raped and killed in front of him and then left him alive to swear revenge on all of us.
And they're like, but what cop we did that to? Because there's so many. It could have been any one of them.
And he's just like, there's the rub. That's the thing we need to figure out. Let's set a trap for him.
Also, they just shouldn't have left him alive.
Hindsight is always 20/20, Mike.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it was real dramatic. I felt like it would work. We won't do that next time.
Yeah.
So that night, Juan Bronson is stalking in the darkness
Of course he is.
for another
he
person
does.
to judo chop. And he spots Hall.
Oh,
Hall, who is planning on making his move against Tarzan. See, it's all coming together, guys. It's overlapping. And Hall catches Tarzan at just the right time. He fires off a shot, and he only gets him in the shoulder. This fucking loser.
Hall, you punk.
he does kind of do a Nick Cage Con Air. Is like he gets shot in the shoulder.
He no-sells it.
Just no-sells the shit out of
He's
it.
like, damn, my shoulder's been shot.
Yeah.
And he spots Hall. He's like, you son of a bitch. You tried to assassinate me.
Okay, all this stuff is wrong because Hall shoots him one time,
Yeah.
then just stares. They make eye
Yeah,
contact.
they have that moment of like, you can't pretend you're not doing this now.
Then he runs away, and I'm like, no.
Shoot again.
You got to try and finish at this point because you're fucked.
This is-
God damn it, he's
You're
seen
made.
you.
You better finish
no
the
half
job.
measures.
You're the only guy with
But
the
man,
fucking Sugar Ray hair. Like
you know
he
what,
knows
though?
who you are.
That's classic Hall.
And then he just
There's no
runs
step
away.
2, man. It didn't work, so he froze.
He runs away, but Juan grabs him.
Yeah, he gets snatched by Juan, and he gets his head jammed on some rebar.
Yeah, he shoves his head right through it. Comes
So
out the other
the
end.
pole comes out his mouth.
Phallic.
Very phallic. And meanwhile, Tarzan went to get some reinforcements. He's like, this fucking Hall's trying to kill me. Let's go get his ass. They get over there, and they find him stuck to the wall. Like Michael Myers killed him.
Yeah, this is we're seeing a shift into a horror movie now.
This is full on become a slasher flick now.
Well,
We're doing Jason kills.
when they come to find him, they're like, he says something. Well, they say something that they're like, yeah, fucking traitor. Glad he's dead.
He says, you paid for your treason with your life.
And they go, but wait a second. Which one of you killed him? And they're like,
And they're all looking at each other.
no, us.
And Madman is just like, yeah, fuck him. He spits on him for being a traitor.
Yeah, but then Tarzan's like, wait, hold on. If you guys didn't kill him, then that means that Bronson cop's around here.
And he's on our grounds right now. Spread out. Let's find his ass.
So we better find him. So they do it the best way you know how in a movie. Hey, let's all separate.
Everybody split up.
Right? Everybody split
It
up.
is a
go
Jason
find him.
movie now.
Yeah.
And so they're out there. And at one point, Mad Max and Tinfoil Coolio are out there. And they comment to each other, this guy's like a ghost. He's nowhere. And we're running the clock
Not
now.
really. I mean, he's just walking around in a pair of Levi's. And
Yeah, he's just like this overweight
Probably
dad.
making a lot of noise.
White shoes, his ruffling windbreaker. But yeah, we're hunting around. We can't seem to find him. Tinfoil Coolio goes to check in one part of the woods, and suddenly, his head gets lopped off.
the head's off.
Like clean, fast. We're in a slasher movie now. Like I don't even know how that happened, but we pull up after the beheading to Juan's face, and he starts smiling, like he's having a good time now.
Yeah, he's enjoying his time.
Like we've been doing a lot of the anguish, you know, but now he's just full on. Like this is becoming fun, man.
He's enjoying his retirement.
And so the other guys find Tinfoil Coolio's personal effects on the ground. They find his things. And while they're looking at all of his things, suddenly Tinfoil Coolio's head drops into frame from above. And we get like a boonk.
Randomly gets thrown in a
It's
frame.
very funny.
And it
is
lands
very,
on
very
the
funny.
head of one of the other punks, like a Three Stooges dunk thing that happens.
And then they freak
Like
out.
a coconut fell out of a tree.
But none of this goes anywhere. The scene just cuts.
And we cut to
that's
Juan.
it.
And this, I guess, is later. And he's laying on the couch, sweating and shaking.
wakes up from another nightmare. He's got a couple buttons undone now on the shirt, a little for the ladies.
It's so hot.
It's
so hot in here.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
unbutton my shirt.
And I'm getting worried about something now at this point. It's in my notes. I won't say it yet because we addressed this at the end of the movie, but I went, oh, this better not be what I think it is. This movie better not be going the way I think it's going.
Nope, don't see it coming at all. Not at all. So he still has new Hedwig strapped to the bed in the other room.
Because he
as we
wakes
find
up
out.
screaming his wife's name.
Yeah. And she's just like, holy shit, I'm still here, right? That's when he does his whole, like,
We watch
can
him
of
make
meat.
a sandwich.
Yeah. Which you think he's going to
Roast
take to her.
sandwich. Yep.
Right? Because we saw her as establishing, no, he just takes one bite of the bread.
And while he's busy eating a shitty sandwich, she, knowing a thing or two about bondage, knows how to get out of these knots. So she starts undoing her
Now,
bindings.
at this point, is it knots or is it, like, chains that are...
I think it's just rope.
Yeah, it's just rope.
Okay.
And so she's undoing all that. She grabs a shirt off the hook, drapes it over herself, doesn't close it.
Nope. But this is so
a good look.
bizarre. Is that, like, she's going to make her escape, right?
Yeah.
But not at all.
Because the second she gets outside, Juan's got her.
Yeah, he's like, is he planning this the whole... That's a really
He
elaborate,
knew exactly where she'd
fucking
run,
weird
and he was
shit.
just already there.
Also, apparently, Juan lives in the middle of nowhere, or I feel really bad for his neighbors. Because this is
They
crazy.
keep looking through the blinds like, I don't know about that guy.
I hear he's a cop, so it's probably okay.
It's
And I
police
know-
business. I can't get involved.
With the quinceañera killing and everything, like,
He's working some shit out.
yeah. Heard a lot of screams, though.
Oh, wouldn't you?
Female screams.
Oh. But yeah, so he grabs her and he's like, how many are in your gang? Which I'm amazed he's waited this long to ask this.
When he also asks, how many machines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many are in your gang and how many of them have bikes?
But I was like, okay, why didn't you, like, ask her this earlier? One. Two, you've been there, like, dozens of times. You know the answer.
Count it.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
the answer.
But
Maybe
yeah,
he's just trying to make conversation with her.
Yeah.
he's trying to break
he's
the
like,
ice.
you're gonna be my house guest for a while.
Yeah.
We might as well.
They got to get along
some
somehow.
I honestly
Like that
thought.
was the moment where he's just like, oh shit, she's trying to like run away.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I better talk to her or something. She feels pretty
I
uncomfortable.
really thought we were gonna do like a Stockholm syndrome thing with Panther, and that she was
They
just
got a
gonna help
bond.
him at the
yeah,
end.
that she was gonna come around to his side.
Wow, that would have been way more interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
Probably.
Almost like you're writing a movie.
Yeah.
Instead of the
And
what
so-
have you.
Filming some scenes.
So we're repeating the spot. That night he's sneaking back to HQ to go fishing again, and
I'd like to say at this point, though, Tarzan and Medusa not working out.
No, there's not
it's
the
not
same
really
magic.
It's
No.
just man,
Because she's trying to, get him excited, and he's just like...
he's pretty upset right
yeah,
now.
it's- I
And
don't
so they
know.
decide not to go any further.
Not now.
And
Tarzan's
so-
got feelings.
So he goes off for a night walk to go think about things.
He also lives in a clown tent. We
Yeah.
should say this. He lives in the tent from Killer Clowns.
Yeah,
Its
he might be
color
a killer clown. That's
scheme-
why we never see his face.
That's true. The color scheme is very weird. Like, they could only get one tent for the set. And they're like, I guess we're going to have to go with clown.
Well, like with everything else, we've established that he's got his own fashion sense. Like he's doing his own thing.
It's true.
He actually makes his outfits from cuttings from the tent.
Ooh, I like that.
That's why they're multicolored.
But Medusa's laying down in there, right? She's still, like, upset. She's going to fall asleep, I
And,
guess alone.
And the side of the tent cuts open.
Yeah.
Just a little down the side. And there's Juan. And he's smiling through the hole in the tent.
Now, we've run out of phallic things.
Yeah. But
Generally,
he does
yes.
use the knife to cut into the tent.
Wait, the knife? It's his penis.
Yeah, it's his penis. Although, what do you explain the spiders as being?
He's got a weird looking dick.
I think that's it.
The balls, Tanner.
The
balls.
Where the venom lives.
The balls of spiders.
There you go. We can still make it phallic.
Perfect. And so he
By
tosses
the way,
a couple.
these aren't like poisonous spiders.
These are
They're
somebody's pet
venomous.
tarantula.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just tarantulas.
But yeah, it's like a Lucio Fulci thing, like the Beyond. And so he just tosses a couple tarantulas on her, and she's like, ah! Yeah, and she's yelling for Tarzan to come help. She's powerless to do anything, clearly an arachnophobe. And, Tarzan and crew run in there, and they just gently brush off the spiders. He stomps them out off screen, but it's too late.
Yeah, apparently
She's been killed.
she dead.
She's dead by spider.
She
yeah.
got tarantulaed.
I
And
almost
they're
think
like-
that maybe she died of a heart attack instead of the
Just
spider.
died
go
of
with
fear.
that.
Because they're
I
also
like that.
those are just tarantulas.
I would have liked one of the punks to be like, I know, this is just tarantulas.
Yeah.
She-
Like, she's faking it.
she's faking it. Just like punch her. Wake her up.
Give her a pinch.
Punch
real
her,
quick.
yeah.
Punch her and see if she's faking it. And so, of course, they're like, we need to find this son of a bitch right now. And Medusa spots him pretty much instantly.
I would
He's
have
just sort
liked
of
it
hanging out
though.
off camera.
I kind of would have liked it though if Tarzan was like, you know what, fuck it, right? Fuck it.
Yeah.
And they just like, we're done. Everyone
Like,
go home.
Yeah. Do you
go
want us?
home. We're
Do you want
done.
us to go after him, boss? And it's like, no. It just
That conversation does happen shortly.
man.
About that. Why don't we just leave? Like, why do we do this?
Why are we
every
still
night
here?
with this? But anyway, not Medusa because she just died. So one of the other punks.
Yeah, it's like some pink-haired lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I call her Trash from Return of the Living Dead.
Okay.
She does look
because
a lot like trash. From Return of the
basically
Living
what
Dead.
happens is
Oh, I had her written down later as Intrepidos Pink.
Juan's just standing there with the torch, just there.
And they're like, we gotta find him. He's like, yeah, let's find. Oh, me, shit.
Well, he does it on purpose.
Yeah.
Because when they come running after him,
He's
he,
drawing the charge.
drops the torch onto these like
Barrels.
gas.
We got, like, video
That's why
game-
they don't have to
got
get
some
gas.
gas.
They already did it
Yeah.
in a deleted scene. But yeah, so and this, he shoots this lady, and
blows up
Blows
some
up the
of these barrels.
and this punk that's been looking for him keeps falling down for no reason. Like she walks down a hill and then she keeps tripping and she can't stop and it's getting
Well,
worse.
because they're
and now she's
filming in the
crawling.
middle of the fucking night and she doesn't know where she's
So
going.
I think she rolled an ankle or something. Maybe both of them got twisted. And she's like, "Fuck!" It's almost like she's in a slasher movie. She's trying to run and she keeps falling down. And she crawls right up to him. And so he, of
and
course,
he's getting real fetishy at
yeah,
this point.
this is getting almost like getting coffee. Now crawl to me, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And so he punches her out and he drags her off.
Like Tanner said, just punch her. You know?
Yeah, simple enough. Meanwhile, back at the Airbnb, Panther is almost free again. She's getting out of her bindings.
Yeah.
Well, this
She
time
knows-
he
she
tied
knows
her to a
ropes.
yeah. He tied her to a chair this time.
So it took a little longer.
but it also apparently left one arm free.
He's not good at
Like he only had one rope left.
He wants her to get away so he
Yeah.
can catch her again.
It's
a
part of
game.
this.
It's a game.
Yeah,
and she
Juan
does
is
find a
really
gun.
terrible at this.
She finds a gun in that room as she breaks out.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Intrepidos Pink is clutching onto his leg like a little kid who doesn't want to leave an amusement park.
And this is the part
It's
where
very
you're like,
cartoonish.
oh man, I really hope that he's just trying to get information out of her.
Yeah. Even this
I
late in the
really hope,
movie,
yeah.
you still go, maybe this time he's just trying to get information.
Juan, put the foot down. Juan. And
And,
he's still kicking her.
Yeah, she's begging for mercy, and he ties her up too, like he's been doing with everybody. This is where I have where Panther finds the gun, and she comes out to save the day.
Also, puts a shirt on. Still
Yeah.
no buttons.
Best she can do. She shoots him in the leg. But
Yeah.
he returns fire and gets her in the shoulder. And while she's sort of laying out, like, bleeding pretty bad and hurt, he does a Bronson, I'll come back.
Yeah.
And
Because he's got other business to take care of. You know,
gonna
he's brought
finish
a
his
new.
business he's in the
brought
middle
a
of.
new guest.
Yeah.
He's gonna take care of her first.
So he gets back over to Intrepidos Pink, where he's got her tied up and prone, and he goes and gets a jar out of his truck. And you're like, what the fuck is this? More
This
bugs?
is like we're running low
We don't have much
on
left to work
ideas.
with here.
Yeah.
And so
Like he's done everything we have. He's done wooden stake up the ass. He's done snakes in a
like,
barbecue.
he kind of did the big ones up front.
He did
Now he's just got little stuff.
tarantulas. Now what do we got?
What's this? You
I
have a
don't know.
peanut allergy?
Yeah.
Here's a bag of them.
I would have preferred that.
He's just throwing peanuts at
Because
her.
now it's like I don't know how else do you kill somebody. I don't know. Acid.
and so
Some
yeah,
sort of acid.
it ends up being
Slow
acid.
acting acid.
Yeah.
And I don't know, was it like hydrogen peroxide that they used?
It's
or
whatever
something?
Melvin in Toxic Avenger fell into.
Yeah, because he pours little bits at a time out of this jar, but the second this liquid hits her skin, it bubbles up real quick.
Yeah.
And they're using that as like, it's burning.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the
It just
effects are really
looks like
poor.
she's got a bunch of like soda foam on her or something.
Yeah, he's just pouring fizzy drinks on her.
It was a science experiment. They coated her skin with baking soda and then just poured vinegar on it so it would bubble.
You know, Tanner, I'm actually not surprised if that's actually.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
no,
how
that's
they
exactly
affect
baking
us.
soda and vinegar in a jar, and
Now act like you're burning.
like a bomb bag.
You're
But-
like like some sort of elementary school volcano.
Yeah.
He covered her in Coke and then threw a was it Mentos?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, man, that's dangerous.
Don't fuck
Come on
around.
now.
She'd fly through the air if that happened. But anyway,
It just flies through the air like a balloon.
Juan is doing some real acting here because he's kind of going back and forth between crying and laughing hysterically.
He's lost his shit.
I have I've lost Juan at this point. He is not. I'm not on his side.
You can't possibly
I'm
be.
rooting for Tarzan, I think, because like he's just kind of going through that existential punk crisis, you know, and like
It's a more interesting story to follow.
yeah.
But he gets a little bored doing this laugh cry thing in a little bit, so he just splashes the rest of it in her face and goes back in the Airbnb to sit down and have a drink.
Yeah, I do like how he ends it. He's just like, I don't know, just throw it in her face.
Fuck it, splash. All right, he did the acid thing. I'm gonna go inside, and we're doing some real man shit here too because he has to tend to his leg wound.
Oh yeah, very
Digging the bullet out, like Rambo.
We don't even see the real dig the bullet out for some
He
reason.
just holds the prop knife against his leg for a second and goes, "Ooh!"
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna do that.
I did it.
Also, here I just tied it like a tourniquet, so I guess I'm
Yeah.
gonna lose this leg.
And so it's now the morning because I guess he went to sleep after that.
Oh, and that's a wrap on Panther.
Yeah,
right?
are we
We
ever
don't
gonna
see her.
follow
We don't
up
see
with
her.
that? No.
So she's either still alive or she died of that gunshot.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that was in the chest, not the shoulder.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I kept wondering if she was gonna show up.
I kept expecting her to show up. again,
She
but
still like keeps trying to get away and he keeps grabbing her. But
eventually he marries her.
yeah, ultimately that's where this leads. He finds a new life. They both leave their old lives behind. So it's the morning, and he's dragging Intrepidos Pink's body to a grave he'd dug, and he drops her in there and then screams, "Go to hell!" and starts.
Which is, how we'd like to start our Saturdays.
We all do that. And
Usually look out my window and tell somebody to go to hell as I throw dirt on them.
you do live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
He starts shoveling dirt on her, and we're doing the creepy laugh the whole time. At this point, he's laughing like one of the fat twins from Just Before Dawn. He's doing like a while he does this,
He's gone off the deep end at this point.
and that's when we go back to HQ, and we're finally getting somebody with a smart question. They're like, Tarzan, why don't we just get the fuck out of here? Like, what if we aren't at this headquarters, the one place he knows to come get us?
Well, we go back to the old one. It was by the beach. That's nice.
Yeah,
Come
it was
on,
Tarzan's
Tarzan.
like, what the fuck?
It was a big cave, like the Bat Cave and everything.
He's like, cowards. You fucking cowards. Tell you what, I'll answer that question right fucking now. Anyone tries to leave, I'm going to shoot him.
and they're like, great.
Like, damn it.
I wish Ohal was still alive.
And then he goes, but on that, please leave this place and look for the cop.
Yeah.
I will shoot you if you don't come back.
Except for the people I told to leave.
Yeah.
Like, no one comes in or out unless I say. And he goes, don't worry, I have a plan, you guys. So we cut to...
Well, his plan, he also says something like, we have to go get more people.
Oh, yeah.
We have to, do more jobs so we can get more people to recruit to the punk lifestyle.
that comes up later.
It's just like, I
That's
love
his
that.
next speech.
His idea of, how I'm going to recruit more punks.
We got to build our numbers
It's like a
back
Grand
up.
Theft Auto game or some shit. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you got to do the side missions, and then you get the money and everything, so you could do the good mission and get the good car and everything. We got to work our way up, guys. We're starting again from the bottom,
So as we go out looking for this guy, we get to Bone, our warrior with the big headgear.
Incan warrior.
Our Incan warrior is riding on his motorcycle, and I thought we were about to get some Rangers of Atlantis action because Juan has pulled a cable across the road
Oh, yeah.
for the old clothesline, but it just knocks him off his bike. It doesn't behead
Which
him.
is weird because he kind of knocked a guy's head off earlier. And we couldn't
with
do it here?
something. We didn't even see what it was. We just heard a whoosh sound and the guy's head popped off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he clotheslines him off. The guy starts begging for his life like everybody else. He gets pistol whipped, and he wakes up staked to the ground like Gulliver.
Yeah.
And
This becomes,
little wands are crawling all over him.
This becomes the exterminator at this point.
Yeah, because we pan up, and Juan is giggling with a flamethrower.
Now, his flamethrower just looks like an insecticide.
I think
thing.
it's like the old style back before they realized people shouldn't use flamethrowers to do their gardening. But there used to
It
be like
looks like-
gardening
yeah.
flamethrowers to kill weeds.
It's one of
along.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it looks like something you get at Home Depot.
Yep.
They
And
just put a lighter at the end of it.
Bone is the first one of these guys who who stops begging. And he just goes, you know what? You're lucky I'm tied up, pig. Like, yeah, if this were a fair fight, I'd have your ass. And we just get right to it. He starts burning his legs while he's tied up.
It's
And-
really
And while he's burning, he keeps screaming, "Finish me off, asshole!"
Juan's just laughing.
Yep.
He's having a good time.
He's having
And,
his own barbecue now,
yeah.
right? It's Hawaiian night over at Juan's.
Yep. He should have put an apple in his mouth. And then so we cut to later, and the punks are they find Juan.
Yeah.
They go, oh, son of a bitch, get him! And they plug him full of holes, and then when they run up to it, they realize it's just bones propped up like a scarecrow.
Well, what's left of him, because when they open
his
it up...
charred remains are in a
just-
trench coat.
He's just shriveled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks
And
like that
everyone's-
guy in
everyone's
Night Train
having
to
a mummy.
Terror. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now everyone's melting down. And this is when the thing you were talking about, Mike.
Yeah, and
Tarzan.
some of them literally
Yeah.
melting down.
And Tarzan presents this like it's his own idea. He goes, guys, what if we just get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, because his other idea is like, well, we need to recruit more people to the punk lifestyle.
Well, that's part of this
Actually,
speech. He's like,
yeah.
tell you what, we get the fuck out of here. We go, we run some jobs, we make some money, we hold a fundraiser, maybe a bake sale. We get some people on board to become Intrepidos
We
Punks.
increase our mailing list.
Yeah, and everybody's like, okay, we'll try it out. Oh, fuck it, Juan's here.
Yeah, they were like, a little regroup, a little recruit. We're good. Once we're strong again, we'll get the, isn't that one?
Yeah, and he's got a machine gun.
And he just walks up with a machine gun and goes, hey. And as they were all spreading out to leave, he just starts mowing people down.
Yeah, it's a very quick. There's the quick exit for the remaining punks.
We've run out of, like, torture things to do, so they're like, just show
Just
up with a
shoot
gun
'em.
and shoot everybody.
Just spray and pray.
Yep. And, Madman has a couple bullets in him. He's crawling to the ground. He goes, hey, cop! This is for your family, asshole! And he performs seppuku.
I was genuinely surprised by that. I
He
was like,
restores honor.
Did not expect that.
And the other thing
He's
that,
the only punk who really apologized.
and Juan just is like, okay.
He's
Like,
like,
he's just not even really affected by it.
He's
It's
like,
just
oh
like,
yeah, I'm doing this for my family. For
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And,
Oh, yes, that's why I'm doing it.
because at this point, and I have this in my notes here, Juan is the Joker at this point.
Yeah.
He's nonstop laughing.
Just wants to see the world burn, dude.
Yeah. And so it's just him and Tarzan now. They're face to face. And Tarzan, who has switched outfits again for this final scene.
And he now is dressed like Glacier from WCW.
Yeah, it's a little Glacier and a little bit Cobra Commander's metal outfit.
Yeah, it's blue and silver.
The big silver disco ball head, but he's got like 90s comic book pouches.
Yep.
Like he's wearing tights, but like his thighs have metal boxes on
Well,
them.
there's a reason.
And we find out why in just a second. And so, being the pro wrestler that he is, he's like, what are you doing with this gun, man? Throw down your weapons and let's finish this like men. And he's like, wrestle me, you coward. When you're twice a guy's size and trained in hand-to-hand combat, you're like, come fucking fight me. And Captain Marvel, you hacks. Because instead, he just shoots him. He gets him in each of his metal boxes that are on his thighs. Each contained a squib. And, he shoots him in one leg, boom, and he yells, you coward! And he shoots him in the other leg. And he's yelling, kill me! And we close in on Juan's crazy eyes. And we pan back out, and he's got Tarzan hanging upside down. And what does he do, guys?
An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
Yeah.
Tarzan is begging.
Mm-hmm.
He's screaming. Juan's got a knife. Hot, juicy knife. Plucks out one of Tarzan's eyes.
Like, with amazing ease.
Yep.
Like cartoonish ease.
Well,
Just-
when
you
his
could have heard
back is to you, real easy to pop that eye out of a dummy, or just in your own hand because you already got it.
Yeah, it looked like he just had one on a string. Went, ooh, there's an eye. And, he cuts both of his eyes out. And then, Tarzan's screaming. And then suddenly Juan is screaming. And he sits up in bed and goes, Amanda! And we pan over.
Guess who's next to him in bed?
Well, you don't even have to pan over. She's in the shot the whole time. It's a wide
Yeah.
shot.
And his
they
wife
didn't
is
even
like-
do a close up. It's just a wide shot.
Yeah. And his wife goes, sweetie, you okay? And he's like, ugh, I had the worst dream. She's like, well, you better get some rest. Tomorrow's our daughter's quinceañera.
Oh,
And I have on
boy.
my notes here, boo!
Also, I like that their bedroom apparently has black painted walls because
So-
they appear to be in a void.
So is it really that he's back home? Or
Or
is
is it a
this?
dream within a dream?
They might have found that mine trap chair. You don't know.
That's
I
really
think
what
somebody got slapped with salami at one point.
And so, son of a bitch, we get the it was all a dream ending because
Yeah.
he's from that point
it's a real Wizard
just
of
like,
Oz.
yeah, the birthday is coming. Tomorrow's a big day, and then the credits roll.
Don't.
The credits now take us back into the dream world
He fell back
Yeah.
asleep.
where Juan is walking. We have a big high tracking shot of Juan walking away from the mission toward a car. Bobby didn't see this on his.
I didn't
but-
realize. I shut it off during the credits, so I didn't see the end
okay.
of it.
So if you watch the credits, there's a woman waiting by the car that he's walking toward. My assumption is that it's the Jorge's partner, the lady cop. And that there's a bunch cut out with her. When
That she had parts in this movie?
she had parts in this movie, and when they had to make it a dream because the Mexican version of the MPAA or the studio or whoever said you can't have a movie where a cop goes insane and murders people, and she's like, well, if it's a dream, it's okay. That all of her
He didn't
stuff
really
had
do
to
any of that.
I feel like it's
fantasy.
totally what happened.
And so all of her scenes had to be
The test
cut.
screening was abysmal. Because the hero from part 1 is like a psychopath in part
It's like
2.
you can't release this.
Yeah, you need to
Like,
make it
no
all a
way.
dream.
Burn the film.
And like, what if it's all a dream? Okay,
And
we'll
it
accept
was
it.
such a... You know what I needed? What I would have liked? And, I would have been okay with this. One more shot after the last shot here of like, tomorrow's a big day, better get back to sleep. Exterior of his house. The punks are all surrounding the house.
Yeah.
That's it. And then roll the credits.
Yeah.
Because then we got the not realism. What's the word I'm looking for? There's always like a supernatural element in a lot of Mexican storytelling. And we have sort of he had a dream of this whole movie, but it was actually a premonition of what's about to happen.
And
I forget the term I'm trying to pull,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying, right, Tanner?
yeah, I'm sure. And there's other movies that do that too. What's the Nightmare City? Like the Italian zombie one?
Yeah, where they're like, the zombies are gunning down an airport in the opening scene.
Yeah, and it ends with a dream, but it's all like with the scene from the first movie is about to happen, and like now that the guy's woken up, like the plane is about to land at the airport. It's like, what a cheap ass ending.
Yeah. Or like Vanishing Point does that.
Does Vanishing Point do that?
They start with the end and go back to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Or like, like you're saying about the walls in that bedroom being black, like his mind has completely gone and now he's imagining being back in bed with his wife and everything's fine.
Yeah.
No, but you're
But in
putting
reality,
too much.
he's like sun sick outside after having killed
You're
everybody.
putting too much into this movie.
We're just trying to make it better, dude.
Yeah.
Because does anybody recommend it?
I actually do. I enjoyed this one more than the first one.
Okay.
The first one
Interesting.
I had to watch.
Now, you're not the only person I've heard say that,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
because I had to watch the first one on 2x speed because it is paced horribly. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
enjoyable if you watch it in fast time. This one I did not have to watch in fast time. I watched it. Yes, there's like, it's fucking crazy. It's not as charming as the first one.
It's mean spirited. It's sleazy.
Yeah, this is
Grindhouse.
exploitation grindhouse. So I actually would recommend this if it sounds interesting. Like if you're into revenge movies, sure, why not?
Yeah, it's the rape revenge movie is an acquired taste because they're trying to make you uncomfortable, and they're trying to test what you are willing to root for.
Yeah.
What are you willing to cheer on? And I think this had. I'll go next, I guess. I give this sort of a mild recommend. I'm not all about it. I think it had a lot of potential and some interesting things they did. I feel like the execution was botched. Pardon the pun. But yeah, and there's a lot of directions I wouldn't necessarily have taken. I think there's a better movie in there
Yes.
that just didn't come together like I wanted to. But I think I put it about on par for my taste anyway with the first one. I think they're both very different movies, but I like them both about the same. They're just apples and oranges from the same fruit cart.
It's fine. There's like a lot of it's just long. Like the killing is just over and over. It's the same thing.
Too
Like,
repetitive.
The plot never develops. It's just like, yeah, he's just going to go back to Punk HQ at night. He's going to kill another guy. Then it's going to repeat. Rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
Rinse, repeat. Nothing ever changes. It's like the punks don't do anything different. Like they only have 3 locations. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like the worst type of slasher movie where it's just like, I already know what's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
it's just by the
It's
numbers.
a slasher with no final girl.
And you're hoping for some sort
does
of
Oh.
creative death, but they kind of lose steam.
Yeah.
And it's like
And I
they
think
start
it's
out okay, and then no.
It was indicative in the way that we reviewed this and the way we recapped this that we kept coming up with more interesting threads we could have followed and more interesting ways to present things.
Yeah.
I think we needed something with Jorge and the partner. instead of killing them off, they should have been
Well, the partner never died.
right. But Jorge and the partner were the people we could have full on cheered for. Like, Juan, Marco in the movie. Juan is not a hero.
No.
And he's not supposed to be. And by killing off Jorge in Act 1, you've removed any good people from this movie.
Yeah.
That you can actually be like, all right, that's a good person. That's somebody I hope survives this movie, and someone who can be the hero of this story.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that sound?
No, it was good.
Yeah. How do you guys think Bobby DeVito fit in the world of Punks 2?
La venganza de los punks.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
No, please.
So I didn't miss the pairing of Jorge and his lady partner as being a kind of squatter, dark-haired guy with a red head. So I like to imagine that once Jorge died and his partner was left needing a new partner, that in the police force of this unnamed Mexican city, they have a formula. So his partner was paired with DeVito, who's actually an undercover policeman, and he and this red-haired, poofy-haired lady cop have to investigate the events of Intrepidos Punks 2. Bobby's not in it. There's enough rapists. In
No
this movie.
Bobby?
No Bobby.
Come on now.
No Bobby.
All right.
Just DeVito and a tall Mexican redhead.
Interesting. What do you think, Bobby?
I'm going a little more supernatural here. I think that person in the video store who got shot got shot about to rent a copy of the van. And upon getting shot while holding the copy of the van, suddenly woke up in that film.
Oh, man. Well, I think...
And then that poor sap has to live out the events of the van for all eternity.
Well, I guess it ends happy.
Yeah. Wakes up going, what just happened? Did I get shot? And go, hey, want to smoke a joint?
I think that mine would include Bobby and not DeVito. Tanner. Can't believe you left Bobby out because there's too many rapists. Come on now. Come on. Well, you wondered what happened to old new Hedwig. Why you never saw her again? Well, Bobby's on a little fiesta down in Mexico.
Did she get
Chainsaw
scorchy?
Massacre?
It's spring break, baby. He's got his big novelty sombrero on. DeVito could be there too, I guess. They've eaten a lot of tacos. They've had a couple micheladas. They're having a good time, right? And then they go, oh, I gotta go pee, DeVito. Maybe I can ask this guy if I can go in his house. And they pull in the middle of the day and they go, there's no guy here, but there's a tacos spot. And that's all you need to know. They take her in the van. It's over.
He's like, there's sardine sandwiches. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, they go in the house. Yeah. Actually, guys, that's their Airbnb.
It's their Airbnb?
Yeah, they go to the Airbnb and they're like, oh, interesting. She's already here waiting.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and they love their sardine sandwiches. They have a great vacation until the federales show up and find all the dead bodies, and they blame DeVito and Bobby, and they're never to be seen again. Thanks for joining us on another episode of The Grindbin. Tanner, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on my website, buymichaeltanner.com.
Where he's got all sorts of good stuff.
No, not really. I haven't updated in a while.
Perfect.
But by the time this goes up, I will have put up some updates. I promise you this.
But do you have some books to sell? still?
You can check out my books there. Strike Team Codename Diamond Force, my Grindbin influenced, inspired one-shot comic book, and my main series, Junior Braves of the Apocalypse, which is kids fighting zombies.
Fantastic.
All great stuff. And you can find us at grindhousefilm.com or Twitter at grindpod. Join our Patreon for $2 a month. We got bonus episodes on there. And you can rate us 5 stars on any podcast app. You don't have to say a specific one. Just fucking rate it. And then tell a friend. That's always great. Hand off the love of the bin.
Tell your friends' moms and your mom's friends.
Yeah, tell your mom about the grind bin.
Say hi to your mom for me.
She'll love it. Yeah.
That's the new, Say hi to your
From
mom
Tanner.
for us.
You want to give us the last line?
So, join us next week for another summer sequel. And
Yeah.
until next time, Bobby, pass the goat.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I didn't say it, knocker. I don't know. Spooky ain't got no real rhythm.
Hello, Mr. Man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love
on the gas before we get creamed.